It's not an
And
issue.
we are live.
Do I need a lunch? Yes, it's one of
Yes.
my main 3 meals. Good lord.
Right?
What?
Talking about before, when at a restaurant they would make me clock out if I was closing, and they wouldn't let me take a lunch, so they would make me clock out before my 6th hour mark and keep working, so that way the store didn't get fined.
Should have let them suffer. Get fined.
Yeah,
You know who also
that's what I
does
did.
that? You know who still continues to do that? TJ Maxx.
Oh, I bet.
Ooh.
So, listening to all these stories, as somebody that is not American, what I'm realizing is the reason why billionaires want to bring jobs back to America is because the workers have no rights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
You nailed it.
It would get to the point where they would fix my time without even telling me sometimes. Yeah.
Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Malls.
Hello. Sorry we weren't able to get together 2 weeks ago for the downfall of Propriety. I had some family stuff going on, but we are back this week. We left on a bit of a cliffhanger. At least cliffhanger for me. After a very, because I was watching and I was like, oh my
Like,
god.
it's nice to know that the DM is a fan of their own game.
Yeah, for sure. First off, is everybody doing okay? Are we having a good day otherwise, other than labor stuff?
I need.
Oh, that stuff was years ago.
I need
And,
like
and some of it now, but it's fine.
I need like another 1,300 milligrams of caffeine, and I'll probably.
Yeah, same.
I getcha.
Allergies have been crazy, but like, so if I lose my voice, I'm good. Allergies
No problem.
from sneezing.
I also have a bit of a, so if I just stop DMing, that's why.
I did a goof.
Oh no.
I forgot to update the character cards.
Oh. Take your time.
Since we leveled up, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll do it on break. I'll do it on break.
After last episode, I did message everybody here and tell them that they did level up to level 4, which was very cool. So, because I would think that after everything at Sargenty and Idol, and then discovering a big clue would probably warrant a big level up. So last episode was a bit of a doozy. We had Sargenty and Idol going on, but also through that, Sonari and Madeline were playing detective, or not even playing detective. They were being full-on detectives, and they tracked the footprints that led from the Partington Manor to the Rabbit's Foot, all the way up into the owner of the Rabbit Foot's room. Her name is Gentle, and they found something they weren't expecting, which was one of the head of the eyes in there, looking very wounded, and also looking very cornered by 2 young girls. And after a very tense standoff with this person, whose name was Gabriel, and who, unbeknownst to Maddie, Sonari knows pretty well, since she is also a member of the Eyes. After a tense standoff with this Gabriel, he instructed Sonari to bring Madeline to the Eyes headquarters because she knows too much. And she's also a Fitzgerald, which is concerning. And
what's so concerning about a tea company? Like, I don't.
So with that, Sonari and Madeline made their way downstairs after Sonari explained a little bit about who she really was, and they met up with the rest of the gang. And Madeline, in a state of anxiety and stress, spilled the beans, which Gabriel had specifically told her not to, and much to Sonari's chagrin. And that's where we left off on the streets of Sargenty. Excuse me. Lower Edge, and Madeline is explaining what happened. So, I'm gonna get my own music on here. Get me in the mood.
You want to share
you
that
guys-
mood music?
No, because it's copyrighted. Sorry.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah. You guys are out on the still somewhat damp streets of the Lower Edge, right outside the Rabbit's Foot, where you all had a very good night, I hope. Madeline obviously is in a state of high stress, explaining that she had been threatened by a member of, or a person up there.
Mhm.
And that is where you all are right now. I know that we left off with Gaius trying to calm Maddie down and asking what this person looked like when I had to cut you guys off last time.
Mhm.
But floor is yours.
So Maddie didn't spill all the beans technically. She didn't say
that's true.
anything about Sonari being a part of the eyes or possibly knowing. According to her, that's, not their business. The only business is that she's just freaking out that someone, threatened her multiple times and held a knife to her throat. I don't think that she's going to be going back to the Lower Edge anytime soon. I don't remember what Gabriel looked like entirely.
Gabriel was he was tall, very dark skin that was littered with scars here and there, one across his face. He had locks that were kind of gathered up
That's right.
into a bun, but they are a lighter color, and he has very dark eyes. Looks kind of grumpy last time you saw him. He also looked very wounded. He had a head wound that was bandaged up a little bit, but the bandages seemed to be kind of unraveling a little. But yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to say that Maddie explains to the group what Gabriel looked like, and she also reaches into her pockets and pulls out the bloodied bandages.
Reg just kind of, hold on. Just kind of takes those and puts them away.
Hold on, those are evidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grabbed those before he threatened me. Before he even showed his face, we went upstairs and followed the footprints, and behind a cupboard, or a bookshelf, was a secret room, and we managed to get inside, and I saw the bloody bandages, and I figured that if, he must have been hurt and there must be some evidence on there to figure out who it was, but when he came out, it didn't really seem, we obviously found, it seemed like we obviously found the culprit, because he had been using the bandages on his head.
Did he admit to anything?
She looks over to Sonari.
He didn't admit any involvement in the actual thing. He simply wanted us to meet him later at the Eye's headquarters because we now knew a lot. And
You see-
we weren't supposed to say anything to anyone because of the fact that we knew a lot.
If we go and he kills me, no one will know where I am.
He's not going to kill
Well,
you.
then
I
you don't
wouldn't let
go.
him.
Simple as that. You don't go.
They'll find us.
This is the eyes.
And you know this because...
He said he was from the eyes.
Okay. And you
He-
heard him
Well-
say that.
Well, and we were meeting at the Eyes headquarters.
But how do we know he's actually a member of the Eyes and not just some, just random brigand using the Eyes as a means to intimidation to get you to a undisclosed location to just dispose of your bodies?
No, he's legitimate. He's legitimately a member of the Eyes because I am a member of the Eyes. I know him.
See.
Surprise!
Not
Sorry.
surprising, really.
So why would he
wouldn't
ask
kill
you
m-
to the headquarters? You maybe, because if you're a member, that makes sense. But why Maddie? You could
Because Maddie wasn't supposed to see anything that was in that room. She knows a lot, and I am trying to make sure that he doesn't do anything to her. He won't do anything to me. He can't. I grew up with him. I know that he wouldn't do anything to me. But let's put it this way: with the I'm sure you're aware of how the Eyes feel about rich people, and Maddie here admitted to being a Fitzgerald, and so he thinks that she's going to go and blab about his business to Daddy Dearest. So I need to take her with me and convince him that she's not going to blab. I don't know how I'm going to convince him of that when she couldn't stop talking 5 minutes after the meeting.
So
She just glares at you.
Well, I tend to have that presence about people, so
Not now.
let me get this
I
straight.
told you.
When
that I
you
could keep a
were
secret.
talking, ladies,
Someone threatening me with a knife.
I've been getting
And as a part of the investigation,
threatened since I was 7. It's
yeah, but he
good for you.
knows you.
And it must be nice, I guess, to be used to it. But I, for one, am not.
I guess it would be distressing for someone who's not used to getting knives thrown in their faces and stuff. I guess. Sonari just being really, fucking unnecessarily, moody about it. She's so annoyed that you just immediately spilled.
Yeah, except you told me that you were a part of the Eyes, and you told me about all of that stuff beforehand. This is not in character. It's like, I still didn't say anything.
Yeah. And just
just as a heads up, Avros and Marina are right there and looking very shocked that the possible culprit of their father's murderer is just upstairs. And
I genuinely don't believe. I believe he knows something. I don't believe he's the one that would have killed Lord Partington. There is no reason to kill Lord Partington. The Eyes have never had an issue with him. The Eyes, for for a rich man, like they think that he's like, you know, pretty on the up and up. Like, you know,
Avros,
no.
Avros looks very deeply disturbed. He goes, Sinari, you know that I bear you no ill will at all, and I do not judge you at all for being a part of the eyes. That is your business, but I mean, I'm sorry, but I can't trust that you're not just trying to cover up for this man who might have killed my father.
You said it yourself that he had something against my family just because of our wealth.
He has it against, yeah, pretty much most rich people. God, listen.
What-
I can't have people who just like deciding that they need to go all gung ho on the eyes. It's not going to work out.
The footsteps led to that hidden room, and where he was in the hidden room, who had and those bandages, you know, they could be from someone else. Who knows? But I did take them to maybe do some magical sleuthing to figure out who they belong to. And if it belongs to him, we do know that he was using bandages, so it just the footsteps stopped in that room using the lantern. And he was the only one in there.
Gaius is like keeping his eyes on Reggie.
Reggie's actually deep in thought because he knows very little about the eyes, but he knows enough. And working with Sonari and everyone else here, he's just trying to formulate an idea of what to do next. So when he finally opens his eyes, he's like, you mentioned he's the leader of the eyes.
He's one of them. He's
Okay.
high up. He's high up there, which is why him being here is just so
Odd.
Yes.
Sonari, you can give me a history check with advantage if you like.
Yep. Oh fuck! Where'd I put my dice?
Does everybody have their dice out?
I even have
No,
my
I
dice
did-
tray ready.
I may have grabbed it
You know
5
what?
minutes before
You
we
know
went
what,
live,
Pierce?
but you know.
Gold star for you.
I have the D20 out.
Good job, Weirds.
Okay, so that was a
You get a sticker.
Just gonna get a little
Put
bit
it on your
closer.
forehead.
Good job.
Yeah, these horns are more for just looks, you
Oh
know.
my god.
Wham!
Sorry, what'd you get, Sonari?
I got 14.
Okay. Easily you would know that while Gabriel has had a history of having contracts, so to speak, a lot of the eye's movements are essentially surveillance, recon. It's very possible that he might have been there just keeping an eye on the situation with that many powerful lords and ladies under one roof. You know that there are members of the eyes at almost every echelon of government, power, seat, just keeping an eye on things. That is something. Otherwise, the eyes have a multitude of talents, so to speak. Some of them are quite tame, other ones, best not to speak about it in such gentle company.
Listen, like,
I
Gabriel
understand.
doesn't usually, like, Gabriel has had the odd dealing here and there, but he's mostly recon. He wouldn't go anywhere, like, especially with so many powerful people, and risk causing an incident that would draw attention to the eyes like that.
Yeah.
It's
Do you think he
reckless.
was investigating it?
So why is he now here? Is it Is there a problem with the eyes right now?
I am not at liberty to talk about that.
Fair enough.
What if things went
Um,
south?
What if... Okay, so hypothetically, if I was part of the eyes, and I decided, I no longer care, I'm just going to do my own thing, who comes after me? Someone up higher. Yes? That is my thought process. This is a hypothetical.
Typically, it could be someone up higher, but
Mhm.
we have people specially designed for traitors that who would be they're not typically higher people. We
And
don't talk about them.
Is
and
Gabriel
this
part of the ones that go after traitors?
No, Gabriel is like figurehead. Like Gabriel is he's like my weird uncle that I see every few weeks. Like
He's quite close in age to you, Effie.
she doesn't care. She's always like, he's my weird uncle. You were like 3 years older than him. Yeah, uncle.
What if
just the image of a gray peppered haired version of Gabriel pops into his head instead of who he actually is.
what if something went south? You say that he normally does the recon. What if he was the eyes at whatever was supposed to happen at the party? Something goes south, Lord Partington gets killed, and all hell breaks loose.
That's
What if Lord
also
Partington was not the target?
it is likely that Gabriel would intervene as something happened, but also very unlikely that
It could explain
it
why he's
doesn't-
got the head wound.
It would be. I'm not sure about Partington not being the target. I mean, everything seemed to be I don't know why he would have been a target at all. He wouldn't have been a target for the eyes, but if there was a third party who wasn't eye related, I don't know. I don't know. But basically, but my point is, even if at this point, Maddie does need to come with me to the eyes headquarters. There is no discussion about that.
I would
is
say
something I
at
have
that
to-
moment you hear from kind of more towards the crust, the upper crust sort of area of Sargenty, you hear clock tower letting out very large, like loud, stately bongs, and you count and it hits 11. So it's getting quite late. And upon hearing that, Avros kind of swears under his breath. He goes, I need to get you home. Otherwise, Mother is going to... Damn it, she's going to freak out. And Marina goes like, I did not realize how late it was. And
You two go ahead and get going. Take this lantern with you.
Mhm.
It belongs to
She-
the school after all.
takes it.
Oh, and one last thing. Kind of just like takes the pocket like bag that he had that he put the bandages in and gives that to Marina as well. See if the mistress will look at that too.
Headmistress Holt,
Mm-hmm.
I won't see her until tomorrow.
This is okay. Well, you'll probably be passed out until noon tomorrow.
Sounds good. And Avros goes, do any of you know any way to get in contact with us if something goes south? We want to be able to help.
Kind of looks over it.
Yeah.
Arby.
I mean, I can
No.
just
Anyone
show up.
have-
I can just show up to your house and start making a fiasco.
Does anyone have a familiar carrier pigeon?
Actually,
Mhm.
he's like he looks over to like Arby.
Yeah, I've been looking at Arby the entire time. I was like, Arby?
Wait, does he? What? He has a pigeon? I've never seen one with a familiar. With
I
a
wouldn't
pigeon.
call it a pigeon.
I have to
If-
say, I would not have pegged you for a pigeon, man.
If I call him a pigeon, he'll no longer be my familiar.
Where is he at the moment, like on Gaius?
The
'Cause he-
last time that he sent out Dane, it was to keep an eye on Maddie.
Yeah, so he's probably nearby, but out of view. But on the note of my good friend Dane is his name, he would very much appreciate being referred to as such. If you insist on going to this meeting with the eyes, if you allow it, I'd like to send him with you. In case you get into trouble, he can let me know.
Would this satisfy you, Maddie?
Yes.
Avros goes, I have to be honest, I don't feel comfortable just sending you two girls into this. Or sorry, young women into this.
I kind of just like stare at him. I'm just like, what part of I am in the eyes did you miss?
Looks around like,
I know I may seem useless.
No, it's not because you seem useless. It's at all, Maddie. I know that you can take care of yourself. It's just that things are at such a tension right now, and I just worry not only for you two, but also for anybody in the eyes.
We were told to go alone. And if we don't show up, I'm sure that they'll find us and things will be worse.
Marina goes, well, I could maybe say that my book club ran late and I could disguise myself. And Avro goes like, no, I do not want you going there.
please
If they
let us handle
find you,
this.
they will kill you, I'm certain.
We don't
Please,
have to
I
go
totally-
inside.
You have to do what?
I said we don't have to go inside. We can let these two handle it and be somewhere nearby just in case all hell breaks loose.
They told me to, or was it, Sonari, they told you to blindfold me so I don't know the way?
Yes, I did.
Understandable.
I would say, Sonari, you would know hearing Gaius say that being nearby isn't really feasible.
It
Just because of where the Eye's headquarters is, it's very much tucked away.
there's not really a place where you can hang out nearby with the headquarters. Otherwise, it'd be a bit hard to have a super secret headquarters. People could just loiter around the corner.
Well, if we send... Correct me if I'm wrong, Arby. I can't say your name.
It's happening, Fox. I'm sorry.
It's
Look, I have a slight speech impediment. There are just some things I cannot pronounce if the words are, like, the letters are too close together.
Bro, me too. Like, I can't. Arbelriel, that is a mouthful.
It's an elf name. You can see through Dane's eyes, right? You've held conversations with me.
Yes, I can see through his eyes. I can speak through him.
Well, if we hide Dane on Maddie or Sonari like you suggested, we would at least be able to know the pathway to the headquarters.
Can Dane turn invisible?
You see it right
No,
now?
but if anyone questions you about him, you could just say that he's your familiar.
That you picked up at the Found Familiar.
That is true.
We went to the Found Familiar and picked one up on the way here.
So let me get this straight. I told you to make haste here. It's of the utmost importance, and you stopped to shop for a pet.
No,
It looks sad in the window. What do you want from me?
right?
And we both know I don't make great decisions when I've been drinking.
I feel like if we say that Dane is your familiar, your recent familiar, they would accept that more than if it were mine.
Oh yeah, he'd believe I do something dumb. I do dumb shit like that. Yeah. Where is
So
your
then
not pigeon?
You're not bitches.
Avros turns to our Belriel, Gaius, and Reggie and say, "What are you three going to be doing then?"
Taking a walk. It's a nice night out. The rain's passed.
I would like to be as close by as possible in case our friends here do need our help.
Agreed.
Listen,
If we have
I'm going to be walking in a direction with Maddie, and if you happen to be following me really well, then so be it. But at this point, I'm not aware of your plans to try and track down the eyes, so I'm not in trouble for this.
How about this? Maddie showed up with me. We can just be wandering as a group and we'll have to go off and do girl stuff.
I did tell my parents that I was going to be with Sonari tonight, so us
Yeah, that's fine.
breaking off.
Sonari, you just give the nod or the signal or whatever it is you guys do, and let us know when the cutoff point as to where we could, walk together stops, and we'll just hang out there and do guy stuff until we get some sort of signal.
Okay then. We'll go do girl stuff. You go do guy stuff, and those two going home stuff. And I point at the siblings.
Yeah, going home stuff is
It almost feels like you all don't want us here now, but that's okay.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that you don't want to be here right now as well. It's like 11 o'clock. You could be in a nice bed.
you're free to join
make
us.
it up
You
to
were
you.
just sounded a little upset because of your mother's curfew.
Imagine having a curfew. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my parents
Imagine
quickly learned that never worked.
Imagine having
It
a
probably
mother.
doesn't hurt that you're also probably a foot taller than them.
I mean, imagine having a mother. Can't be me.
Hmm.
Oh no. I have a dad. Dad had me. No, I just don't have a mom.
Effie, I sent you a message, by the way.
It's
Thank
like,
you.
Okay, bye.
It's I don't know how to respond to that. Like, I know you can joke about it, like how I do make jokes about my own things. But
Like
okay.
she forgets that people, like, when she says that, they don't automatically think, oh your dad's transgender. They think, oh, your mom's dead. She forgets that.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
why I just
Starting to think of the twin movie. Oh, Jesus.
sorry about what? Oh no. Dad, my dad, he got pregnant and had me. It's all good. So like, I say I have no mum because I literally have no mum. That's what I meant.
I think I may have read a book about that once.
At that, Marina and Avros bid everyone farewell, and they kind of hurry through the streets.
Bye.
In the direction. They go, good luck, just reach out to us if you need anything, and you're always welcome in our home
Of course.
for anything. And they wave goodbye and head on out.
Guys looks over at Reggie's like, they could have just hailed a McDonald's and got home faster.
Possibly. But this is way funnier.
Oh, real quick. As they're leaving, could I ask them to take my horse with them? 'Cause I forgot that we took my horse over here, and
Oh, that's right.
leaving it there doesn't seem like a good idea.
And actually, Avros was taking Marina to where his horse was tied up. So they can both ride your horse. Like, he can ride his and she can ride yours, and it'll just be at their house. Is that okay?
Yep. Perfect.
Cool. All right.
Does your horse have a stupid name too?
I'm sure it does. I haven't thought of one.
Just called horse. That's a breakfast at Tiffany's of you, Fox.
No, and I was asking in character. I wasn't being rude.
Oh.
Yeah, I swear, I promise I wasn't having a go at you. I was just like, I was asking in
I
character
mean-
because
It would track for it to have a stupid name, so
There
there you go.
You can call him Gray.
I mean, you could just do what I do with every horse in every game that I play. Name it Glue.
I always name my
Hello.
horses in anything tree ladder because when I was a little girl, I really wanted a horse. My parents were like, well, what would you even name it? And I was looking out the window at the time, like I was Kelly Clarkson in Breakaway, and I saw a tree and then I saw a ladder and I was like, tree ladder. And I was like, actually, that name kind of slaps. So I just named my horse Tree Ladder and everything.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on naming my horses in the 10 years or so that I've been playing D&D. I don't think I've ever had a single horse that's survived. So,
Wow. So you don't want to get too attached to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like
Alright.
our horses did turn into paste and had to be put back together. So.
Something assassin rocks.
Speaking of not getting too
attached.
attached, the Partingtons go out into the darkness riding both their horses. Well, one horse of theirs and Arbelriel's horse. And I don't know if you guys head out right away or if you're wanting to stop somewhere, but he just said you had to get her there by that night.
so we need to get going.
Oh, right.
What?
So
All right. Lead the way.
So we're going to be heading in this direction. And I just start walking in one way and I pause and go, no, wait, this way. And I just turn and start walking.
It's the deaf, following the blind. Here we go.
Gaius is gonna walk next to Maddie. He's gonna just hook his arm in hers.
I'm going to take you guys to a map while you guys are
Ooh, a
putting your
map.
arms. Yeah.
It's the map. It's the map. It's the map.
So
But pretend it's nighttime.
okay.
Daytime,
Ooh.
nighttime. These are the streets of the lower edge. Surprisingly, not as decrepit and horribly run down as you had always been kind of led to believe. It's very homey, obviously a little dirtier than what you're used to, but even at this late hour, there are still people milling around, talking to shop owners, locking up for the night, walking arm in arm. It's just very much a lively city, just not as rich as what you're used to. And as Sonari, you are kind of leading this group of people. Wait, Reggie, are you going too, or are you going off and doing your own thing?
Well, I'm with the group that's going
Okay.
out there.
As I'm just picturing Sonari and then just a group of people following her from a distance away.
Sonari, Madeline, and Gaius. And then you have, in the back, Reggie and Harvey.
Okay. Sonari, you walk for about 10 minutes there until you reach a shop. It's...
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just responding to you. Sorry.
Are tokens on the map?
I don't think so, but cry about it. I'm just kidding. I will cry about
Okay.
it.
Okay, I was just asking because the last couple times I've been running the cams and whatnot, I've had to manually refresh Roll20 every time we've changed a map. So I wanted to make
No,
sure that this wasn't me.
I thought that was you just judging me because I'm obviously not as good as you.
Oh, you are doing perfectly fine. Don't even start that.
Wow, she sucks. So Sonari, the trio of you two pull up to this shop. It is a little on the older side. And on the front of it, it's called Frank and Ferris's Foundry O'Frubbish. And anybody can see that frubbish part, it looks like the F is lowercase, so it's like someone moved the F from of and put it in front of rubbish. For some strange inside joke. And Sonari, you don't have to roll for this. You've known Frank, and up until recently, you've known his brother Ferris for as long as you've been a part of the Eyes. And you step inside. It's dusty a little bit, but the shelves are packed with items. Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say I probably wait before going inside because I see the shop, but also Maddie's supposed to be blindfolded. She's not supposed to actually know where we're going. So I would walk past it a little bit, go around the corner, and wait for them to catch up. And I go, all right, time for us to split. Gaius, you probably have a lot of these things. Hand me a blindfold.
I kind of feel called out, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
You get a hard.
He
you get a hard.
reaches into like his coat and just pulls out like a soft like silk blindfold.
You gave me the good shit. You brought this for Maddie, huh? And I just go, come on, Maddie. Look here, you're not supposed to know where we're going. Like, you're lucky I let you get be led away this far with vision.
Not that. That comment caught me off guard.
Oh, don't worry. The blindfold's at a third date at least.
Is it recently washed?
Of course.
You wash it after every use? With each one of your concubine consort? I don't know.
That's great.
Because Gaius just has like a harem just waiting for him at home.
Let's get this right. The MILFs.
Yes, a harem of MILFs.
I please tell me that she actually says the word concubine because Sainari is gonna start killing herself laughing. She's looking at
Okay. Okay, so she meant to say consorts, but she said concubines, and then she's like, no, wait, consorts.
Are we in imperialist Japan? Lord.
Like, concubines? What do you take me for?
An emperor, clearly.
It means she thinks really highly of you and your skills. Now, if you're done flirting, we do need to get on with this. I know about you. I'm talking to her. And like I'm definitely trying to make poor Maddie embarrassed because of that comment.
She's like, consorts. I meant consorts. There's supposed to be a jab at him, but it's.
I pat her on the head.
Don't mind.
It's okay.
No matter.
It's okay. It's okay. I pat her on the head. I'm just like, now let's go. I just do the blindfold. All right.
So,
you
completely
guys go.
blindfolded.
Yep. You guys go do guy stuff now. Like, maybe guys can introduce you to his harem of concubines. Let's go, Maddie. And I just like.
I have a harem of concubines now. Is that an army?
That's a bit redundant.
Of the two of you would like to be Dane's mount for the evening?
Hey yo.
We have a volunteer.
Dane will scurry up onto Sonari's shoulder.
Oh, you look awesome. Sorry for calling you a pigeon. And I give him a scritch on the head. Please tell me he doesn't bite. Like, I don't mind if he bites, but I just need to be warned. I'm not in the mood.
He bites sometimes.
Good
Be
luck
nice.
with that.
So, are you three going into the shop and pretending to browse around, or are you standing right outside the door, or what's up?
I think I don't think we
It is for all intents and purposes a shop.
Yeah.
Considering we don't know it's actually the shop yet, we would probably meander a little bit, try and find some seats, and just kind of sit down. And Reggie does have playing cards on him, so there is something to make it look like they're actually bonding.
I was gonna say Gaius probably sits down and just like pulls out a deck of cards as well and just begins to like just absent-mindedly just like one hand shuffling the cards through his just with,
Where
like,
are
his
you
right
sitting
hand.
down? Like
So,
in the
i-
street?
If this is a 1-for-1 on the map, there are seats over here.
Okay.
So we probably just meander over there and
So I would say like down here is the shop. It's not one of the biggest ones. It's more off to the side. So you guys are out on the patio over here.
It's like we're
Okay.
still within eyesight of it, but we're not like hopefully too close to draw suspicion.
You guys can go over there. It is a small restaurant that's closing up for the night. They look kind of irritated that you guys are approaching because they want to go home.
Oh
don't
no.
mind us. Don't mind us. We're just out here. We don't have to get food.
Well, we're wanting to close up the okay.
We can hop the fence. It's fine.
Thinking like you don't understand, they have to stack the chairs and lock them up and
Oh, we'll do that
a
for them.
whole restaurant thing. That,
Or rather, I'll do it for them.
as someone who's worked in food service, you are like the least favorite person ever.
Yay. Good.
Like, I'm not going to give you keep the lock and all that stuff.
I don't need those. They want chairs on the tables. That's fine.
So one of them is elected to stay late until you guys leave. And then you guys can sit on the patio and play cards. And then Sonari, you're taking Madeline into the store.
Yep, I'm just like, well, I pretty much like walked away from them with like her and with one arm linked in hers, and then we walked into the shop. And now you can continue describing the shop if I rudely interrupted you.
It's fine. Kind of a little bit on the older side. And at the counter you see an older gentleman. He has a bit of a manic sort of mad scientist look to him, except his eyes aren't crazy. He just has wild hair, big bushy mustache. He's bent over the counters working on something, and when the door opens, a small bell goes off and he glances up. He goes, well, look what the cat tracked in.
Hey Doc, hey Doc, how you going?
I told you, please don't call me Doc. I don't have a PhD.
Oh, but you look like a doc. You always know that, Frankie.
Ah, brother. And he goes, who's your friend?
Oh, this is Maddie. Gabriel invited her for a special dinner.
Special dinner, huh?
Yeah, you know how it is. I make one friend and he's gotta vet all of them.
Far as I knew, Gabriel doesn't really give a shit what you do with your life.
Oh, that's hurtful, Doc.
Whatever. He goes, well, I'm guessing you're wanting to get through.
Yeah, you know it.
You gotta do it.
Stupid thing. Moles, do I need a roll for this?
Yeah, why don't you roll history with advantage, because you've done this a million times.
Well, thank God that we had to roll twice, because that first one was a nat 1. That would have been
Oh, dear.
hilarious.
Yeah.
The second one was a 16 plus 1, 17.
Easy. So, you know that to get into the ICE headquarters, there's a very specific set of phrases you need to say. The first one you say is, you tell Frank, who's bald, except for the wiry hair sticking out at the side of his head, say that you like his hair.
I like your hair, Frank.
Oh, gee. It's all my own. And then he looks at you and he goes, "Now, where's the last place that you'd want a needle in?" And if you want, you can roll me another history check.
I mean, I want to say
Actually, I'll say it
but
carries over. I'll say it carries over, and you would be right.
I'm so just like, oh, it's me,
You darn tootin'. You better get to scooting. And then he kind of pulls on a small sort of chain underneath his desk, and you hear a click in the back storeroom. Goes, head on through, make sure you guide your friend around the boxes over there. I haven't gotten a chance to set them up yet.
You never get a chance to set them up. Those boxes have been there since the oldie days.
I really wish you talked to your elders with just a modicum of respect.
I've talked to my elders the way that my papa always taught me to.
Oh, your
And
papa never
you-
had much manners.
Nah, papa doesn't. God bless him. Let's go.
As we walk past, I look over, which is like, I imagine like he's here, and I just look like right here because I'm blindfolded. I just know he's in like this. Thank you.
He doesn't say anything. You just hear him go. Sonari, as you lead Maddie to the back storeroom, there is it's very cluttered. There's boxes of potions, supplies for wizards, just a very normal sort of stockroom. And then there's a big red carpet, circular red carpet in the middle of the floor. As you go to lift that up, there is a trap door that seems to have been unlocked because it's raised slightly. And you can lift that up and start your descent. There is a ladder that you'll be climbing down. You're going to have to help Maddie.
I was gonna ask, like, if since we're now officially here, can I take my blindfold off? But I suppose not.
Not yet. You'll be able to take it off soon. I like to imagine that, like, because I've done this so many times, I just kind of like loop my foot like underneath the edge of the popped up trapdoor and kick it up, like, so while I'm still holding Maddie's arm, and I'm just like, all right, so there's going to be a ladder, so I'm going to lead you. Actually, how should I do this? You'll be fine.
You go
so
first.
Yes, but you're not going to know where the ladder is if I go first. So I'm going to lead. I'm gonna turn you around, and I'm just gonna position her so she's like right, like with her back facing to the ladder. So like you would normally climb down a goddamn ladder. And I just go, okay, now just take one step back slowly, and you'll feel the rung. And and that's like, when you get to the bottom, just stay there. Don't move.
Oh, okay. Do I need to roll to make sure I don't fall off the ladder?
Yeah. You can roll me. What would I have someone roll if I want them to fall off a ladder?
Athletics.
If you really want to be a jerk, just make it like charisma.
Or strength.
Hey, my charisma's totally fine.
Yeah.
She's a sorcerer.
You can roll me just like dexterity, I guess.
Okay.
I'm still holding her hand, like, as she starts heading down the ladder. Surely that I can give her an assist.
Sure.
All right, you have an assist.
So does that mean I roll with advantage, or is that like a plus?
That's advantage. Okay. You're a little shaky as you go down. It is a rope ladder, so it's not the most stable ladder that's ever been in the entire history of the world.
Oh,
but
God.
you manage to make your way down there slowly, and as you land on the ground, you see that it's no longer the wooden floorboards of the store, but it's dirt. And you can smell there's earthiness, almost damp. It, if you didn't know any better, just from the sense of claustrophobia that you have kind of sinking down on you, you would say that you're in a bit of a tunnel.
Okay.
And I just hear, okay, I'll be right down. And while Maddie was goes down very slowly, and I'm watching. The moment she hits the ground, I'm like, all right, time to go. And I'm like fucking jungle Tarzan swinging down the ladder. So I'm grabbing every third rung and just dropping down.
All right, and before you, Sonari, is the very familiar stretch of the tunnel leading to the Eyes headquarters. It is completely underground. And you know from experience that this is a bit of a walk, probably about 10 minutes. So you guys can get to stepping. You better scoot, little lady.
Okay, and then I just go, all right, pretty damn dark in here, and you don't know where it was, so I'm taking the blindfold off you.
Okay.
Better that your eyes adjust to the darkness now instead of I take it off you when it's actually light. That shit will flashbang you. It's not fun.
Oof. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
all right, let's go. How's your I've got great dark vision, tiefling. Tiefling solidarity. How's yours?
Yeah. Of course,
Yes,
I have nothing written on my character sheet. I think it's the same. I think it's fine.
Yeah, she's also a tiefling, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all good. I know a couple half tieflings who they rolled low on the genetic lottery and didn't get their parents' dark vision, but my other parents a half elf, so the genes are great with me, right?
All right, and as you guys walk down this tunnel, Arbelriel, Reggie, Gaius, are you guys doing anything?
I imagine I started looking through Dane's eyes the moment they stepped into the shop, so
I would say that you see the encounter that Sonari has with Frank.
I am checked out from whatever they're doing, my companions here. So I'm just kind of sitting there staring blankly forward.
Are you able to talk to people when you're in that sort of state?
Yeah, it's the way that I imagine it works when you're looking through your familiar's eyes and stuff. It isn't necessarily that you are blind and deaf to your own surroundings, but more like you're with some friends that are talking while you're there on the phone talking to somebody else.
Oh, great analogy. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. You watch as Sonari leads Maddie and has her encounter with Frank, which is a weird conversation because you definitely don't like Frank's hair, but Sonari said she did, which was weird. And then he almost said what sounded like a threat with a needle. So outside your ballpark of information. But Reggie and Gaius, are you guys doing anything?
I think noticing that he goes into his trance, kind of just looks over to Gaius like, what the hell are we supposed to be doing right now?
You're the one in the wings. You tell me.
It's kind of sad, really, because not only was I part of the wings, I was also part of a upstart group of thieves back in the day.
Yeah, see,
Reggie, based on what you know of that upstart band of thieves, they almost evolved into what the Eyes are today. Very tangentially, but in a way. A lot of them are kind of taken into the Eyes folds.
Yeah.
I'm completely out of my element in this one. I mean, I've had encounters with people who claim they were Eyes, but nothing in a professional sense. More fans at a performance, or somebody wanting an autograph, something like that.
And
Like,
most of them are just trying to find their place and using the skills that they have. I can't say that I was fortunate or unfortunate in that regard. I got out of it.
look, the few adventures that I've actually been on myself outside the city, most of these times in these situations, I was just told to hold still and, well, in less than ideal wording, look pretty, while those who had a more custom skill set did their thing. Pretty much, I kept an eye out. Made noise if noise needed to be made. So I guess that's what I'm doing.
Me personally, I think I was in the same boat. Pretty face. Though I also had the size to do all the menial tasks.
Yeah, you've got well over a foot on me, so I wasn't menial tasks, I was entertainment.
My guess is they are making their way still.
I would assume, but seeing as how we haven't seen anybody coming out of anywhere and, well, wheeling bodies out or anything, we can suspect that they're alive, and, well, Arby here isn't freaking out, so that's a good thing.
That's true. He'll definitely react if something happens.
Like, he like reaches over and he like waves a hand in front of like Arby's face to see if he like even responds.
Oh man,
Doesn't even flinch.
He must be really out of it.
How many cups do you think I can stack on his head?
Not enough. However, I don't think the ones we are patron to are going to provide said cups.
You're right.
You glance in the back and you see the person who was tasked with staying behind was a young teenage boy, acne, looking irritated. He's leaning on the bar, reading a book. He glances up at you guys.
Guys
Build a house of cards on his head.
Guys is gonna get up and he's gonna walk over to where this teenager's at.
I was gonna say you should build a house of cards on his head.
Sir, I'm sorry, the kitchen is closed and so is the bar.
I'm not here for that.
Okay.
If you want to leave, go ahead. I won't tell.
It is a safety thing. I cannot have patrons in the restaurant when there is not an employee here.
Well, if we haven't bought anything, are we technically patrons?
You are in it right now. It's just people in general. If we haven't locked, we can't have people in here and also have the store locked and safely closed for the night. Sorry, I don't mean to be horrible, but them's the rules.
Yes, but you look like a young man who would rather be anywhere but here.
I know, which is why, respectfully, I wish you guys would leave.
Well, once our friend here finishes his thing, we will be out of your hair. It's just...
Do you have an ETA on that?
Unfortunately, I don't. Sometimes he just drops into these spells of aloofness, and we just need to keep an eye on him. He does little crazy things sometimes when this comes around, so to make sure he doesn't, get in over his head, we just secure him in a spot and just wait until it passes.
Well, then I guess I'll be here. And he goes back to reading his book.
Is the bar closed?
The bar is closed. Sorry.
Not your fault.
I know.
Because it's yours.
He's like,
Gonna start,
It's literally yours.
Gonna start stacking cards in front of Arby. Like the old.
what's your
house
name?
card.
Dustin.
Dustin. You have a surname with that, Dustin?
Yes.
You willing to share it?
He does a very big show of kind of placing his finger on a part of the book that he was reading and closes his book and he goes, "Not really, sir."
I was just wondering where I can send a thank you.
No thanks necessary.
Just get out of here.
This is all I do.
Gaius like feels bad for the kid and he's trying to make friendly, but can't make friendly with teenagers. Work. Well, as soon as he's out of his episode, Dustin, I will promptly get us out of it.
I understand. And he goes back to reading his book.
I honestly think I get
Sorry.
about 10 cups on his head before he even started noticing.
I would say at that point, as you guys are messing around with our Balriel while he's in this trance, can you, Reggie and Gaius, give me a perception check?
Sure.
I mean, I can
Can't promise
try.
anything. Can't promise anything good, but yeah.
Good lord. You know what? You don't have to. If it's such an inconvenience.
That's an 18.
That's a 19.
Very good.
That was so inconvenient. Sorry.
As you guys are messing around, you glance up. The streets have very much emptied. It's getting to be closer to midnight. And you see a tall, cloaked figure kind of hurriedly walking down the street in the direction of the Eye's headquarters.
Oh, that's not inconspicuous or anything?
And they duck into the store. You hear the little bell ring as the door opens, and then it shuts behind them.
Would that look like Gabriel?
Don't know. I've never seen the man. That looked
From
like
the
a...
description. From the description of what Maddie gave us.
I just saw a guy in a cloak. Again, completely not inconspicuous, but...
I guess I would say that with a perception of 18 and 19, you would tell that it's not a gentleman. And also the details on the cloak are actually quite nice. Very fine. Little details of gold on them. And bits of green as this woman ducks into the store.
Wait, is this the same individual that I was talking to at the tavern?
No, not
Okay.
Angharad.
Right.
She has a long veil. It's different than a hood. She's completely covered up, like black gloves, black everything, black. This
Head to
person just
toe.
has their hood up, yeah.
Wait a minute.
What?
What were the color? What is the Partington's family colors?
Purple and silver.
Purple and silver. That was gold and green.
Given with who Gaius is and who he slept with, does he know any family that has that, like, color scheme?
I guess you would know that just based on how showy people can be. It's not a crest or anything. It's just a nice little detail to a cloak, but it is just like little details of green and gold around the edge here and around the hood. This person is tall, walks very stately, I guess, but with a purpose.
Doesn't seem to be walking around with a limp either, or a headache. Anyway, continue stacking cards in front of Harvey. I've run out of cards. Do you mind?
I need mine for defense.
Fair enough.
Give me a moment.
Hmm.
And Gaius is going to get up from his seat, and he's going to make his way to the shop.
Are you going in as you are?
Yeah, going in as he
Okay.
is. Like, he's
Cool.
not disguising himself or anything like that.
Okay. As you go in, you see, again, just a regular store. There's a barrel full of multicolored bottles with different colored liquids in them. The shelves are pretty packed. And you see at the back of the store at the counter, an older gentleman who you might have glimpsed through the window as you, Sonari, Maddie, Reggie, and Arbelriel passed by is the owner. You can assume that's either Frank or Ferris. And he's talking to this hooded person. She's taller than him, but Frank's quite short. And her back is to you, but she's still got her hood up.
Okay.
You can hear she has more of a low voice with a very proper accent. Yeah. That's what you see for now, just the back
Okay.
of her.
And all he's going to do is he's just going to start like perusing the shelves, just trying to like very nonchalantly work his way closer to them, seeing if he can just overhear anything.
For sure. 1 second. And as you're walking up and down the aisles, Frank glances around the side of this woman and goes, "Well, hello, sir. Are you looking for anything in particular?" And you see this woman glance over her shoulder at you, and you just see her eyes, but they're very dark. The color of her irises are almost black. She has very dark, very beautiful skin. You can't see her hair because of the hood, but you can tell that it's probably black. Give me a history check, will you?
Sure thing. Oh, the dice are loving me. That's an 18.
Okay. You have probably run across this person at the occasional party here and there. As you were not, I guess, did you go to school ever, Gaius?
Yeah, I think that up until he reached maturity, Gaius went through the standard, high society BS until he was like old enough to leave the house on his own.
Sure. Did you ever go to Our Lady of Life, the school?
Is that the magic school or is that just the basic school?
That's the magic school.
I think given that he does have some somewhat magical talent, he probably attended there.
Well, then you would definitely know this person. This is Headmistress Holt.
Oh. Okay. I think
She
he's
makes
just
eye contact with you, and she lowers her hood. She goes, "As I live and breathe, is that Gaius Tybalt?"
Mistress Holt. This is a pleasant surprise.
It really is. It has been a minute, hasn't it? She holds her hand out.
And he takes it, does like, the courteous like kiss to the knuckle and everything.
She laughs a little. She goes, "What brings you around this part of town?"
It's embarrassing to say, but I was at Sonari and Idol. And while I was performing, somebody made away with one of my notebooks. So I am unfortunately looking for a replacement.
Notebooks?
Yes, notebooks. Things that I write down for book ideas, little words here and there of verses I can work into songs. Just a bunch of scribbles and notes, but somebody made off with it.
Fortunate. I would have thought that someone with magic as yours would have been able to locate that right away.
I'm not that talented.
That's true. You never did get to take any of my classes, but it was always so nice to see you out in the halls of Our Lady of Life. How has life been treating you since then?
Oh, wonderful.
I've heard that you're an author.
Yes, I am now a published author. I've had numerous books put out. I've done a bit of traveling here and there. I've been a regular at some of the taverns here in the city. You know, just living life to its fullest.
Sick. She goes, I was just perusing a bit. Frank and I go well far back. Frank goes, yes, ma'am, pretty lady, sure do. Been here longer than you. And she goes, well, I won't keep you from your looking around. I truly do hope you find your journal.
Thank you, mistress. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Mm-hmm. You can give me an insight check if you want.
Alrighty. Wait, I'm a bard and I don't have proficiency in insight. What the hell is wrong with me?
I don't know. Maybe
That
the
is-
MILFs just
That
don't have a lot
is
to
a
hide.
nat frickin' 1 for 4.
Whoa.
Rough.
You see that, Headmistress Holt looks as beautiful and as professional as ever.
You see nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You black out.
It's just I heard
You get
I heard
you
Frank
get
talk and
blindfolded.
I'm just like, holy crap, is that Sam Elliott?
Shut up. Right. And she turns back to Frank. She goes, I will have that to you by the end of the week. And he goes, I can always rely on you, Esperanza. She goes, oh, Frank. She kind of pats him on the cheek, almost a little flirtatiously, and then she nods her head at you, and then she heads out the door.
Gaius is gonna just watch her leave. So, Frank, was it?
There's my name. It says it over the door.
Would you happen to have a notebook and some fill in ink, possibly?
Like an unused notebook? Because I heard you talking to Headmistress Holt that someone stole yours, and I am sorry, sir, but no one's brought in a notebook.
Oh no, I'm looking for something fresh, a brand new
Oh.
notebook if you have it.
Just in the far right corner over there. Stationery, quill, ink, everything a young writer needs. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. And as to not draw too much suspicion, he's gonna purchase, like, quill, ink, and the notebook.
As you go up to Frank to buy your stuff, he goes, and are you wanting to peruse our barrel of potions? They're unlabeled, but they are 50% off. That's quite a deal, if I do say so myself.
You know what? I don't get to be a player much. Hell yes, I do.
A man who likes adventure, I got you. You can just go pick out anything in the barrel and bring it on up here. I'll ring you up.
Okay, so when I'm looking at this barrel, are there just like various like colors and different liquids
Yep.
inside of it?
Different size bottles, different colored liquids inside. Some of the glass is a stained color, so you can't really see what color the liquid is inside. Some are big, some are small. There's a small kind of rounded blue one. There's a green one that's shaped like an emerald with a gold stopper on top. There is a very round one that's gold and kind of has a wax seal on it. And there's no labels on any of these.
He's gonna grab the emerald one.
All right. And as you bring it up to Frank, he goes, I was hoping someone was going to grab that one. Once you try it out, let me know what it does.
I will
That's not
be
ominous.
more than happy to let you know.
And are you part of our Frubbish Rewards program?
I am not. What does that entail?
You're part of the rewards program?
Sure, why not? Let's do that.
Very good. Can I have your first and last name?
Gaius Tybalt.
Guys, is that Gaius as in Sam?
That is correct.
And is the last name Tyb as in boy Alt?
Yep.
All right. What's the best means to reach you at, sir?
He's gonna write down. He's gonna give the address to his apartment.
Righto. And when is your birthday, sir? We give out special rewards on people's birthdays.
He'll give out whatever his birthday is.
Goes coming up. There you go. That's exciting. Just in time. He writes down the birthday and he goes, all right, just so you know, when you are a Frubbish Rewards member, you get 10% off your purchase. You get special birthday rewards. And every time you come in and make a purchase over 10 gold, you get a stamp on this card. He holds an old, kind of wrinkled card out to you. Once you get 10 stamps off, you can get 10 gold off your next major purchase.
That sounds wonderful, Sam.
That's not my name. My name's Frank.
Sorry. Your voice just so striking. It reminds me of another individual.
Anyway, he goes for the green potion. Normally, this would be 3 gold. Instead, bring it down to 1. And then you actually get a bundle deal on the notebooks, quill, and ink. So that comes out to 2 gold.
Wonderful. He's gonna pop the gold onto the countertop for him.
Thank you. Tell your friends.
I will be sure to tell my friends. Thank you very much, Frank.
Oh, your
Anytime.
concubines.
You say tell
What?
my concubines?
I thought you were
I'll
I'll
saying
make sure all my
that's a new
concubines
one.
come to shop here.
when you come back, there is like the multi-tiered like card stack in front of Variel because he got really bored while you were gone. But then he sees you come back and he's like, "Oh, what was that?"
That was Mistress Holt.
Headmistress.
The headmistress?
Yeah, you can't just
Headmistress
say
Holt.
mistress.
Damn it! I should not have given the bandages to Marina.
Oh, it would have been weird if you gave her bandages inside the store.
Fair.
Blood covered and everything. That just kind of looks very suspicious.
Hmm.
Not to mention if that place is technically a front for the eyes. Yeah, you don't want to get it there.
Fair.
But apparently she's going to be delivering something or having something delivered to Frank. That's what I assume that conversation was about. But she sort of noticed me before I can get too close to hear what the conversation was.
Oh, well, no worries there. I'm sure it's nothing too nefarious. If it's her, she's... Too many pies.
What?
Too many pies. Holds up a finger.
You lost me.
Fingers in pies
Why would you put a finger in a pie?
to get the different flavors of different pies.
That's why you have utensils.
It's a phrase. It's a saying.
I see.
Kind of like two birds of a feather flock together. Too many fingers, or too many pies for your finger there, lad.
Right.
Don't get yourself involved in too many scenarios.
You could have just said that.
Hmm.
You started talking about food and it just confused me.
Now I'm hungry.
I'm
Made
always
myself
hungry.
hungry is what I did.
I'm
And you
always
hear the
hungry.
teenager yell, "No!"
Now I want pie.
I'm not gonna say anything about that. And he just starts holding up his cards.
Gabriel, are you saying anything during this whole thing, even though you're kind of half in, half out?
No, I think I'm giving my full attention to what is happening around Dane at the moment, trying to commit as much of this to memory as possible, even if I don't necessarily understand what's happening.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut back to Sonari and Maddie. You've been walking for 10 minutes. you start to see kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, but you're not dying. It's just that you're opening up to the main eyes headquarters. Are you guys doing anything before you step out into the main square?
Real quick. Just because I don't trust anything that's happening right now. When I look through Dane's eyes, I also get the benefit of any unique type of sight that he has. And he does have 10 feet of blind sight. So if at any point there's like invisible people around these two within that 10-foot range, I will know about it.
That's so cool. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so anything you guys are doing before you step out?
I think she's just following Sonari right now.
Yeah, and I've just been like making one-sided conversation, like just talking about absolute random shit, just so like it keeps her like calm. So you just like, and did you know that like they say cats have 9 lives, but they're full of shit. Those fuckers don't die.
So they're immortal then. It's not
get
9 lives. They have as many as they want.
Exactly. The 9 lives is fake news.
What? Do you think Gaius has 9 lives?
I think Gaius has 50,000 lives.
Fair point.
That he won't die. Like, you know, trust me. That man got too many things going on. He's too busy to die.
Thanks
like,
for dooming
she doesn't
me.
believe a she's not believing a word she says. She's just talking absolute shit, so that like Maddie's just like not paying attention to the fact that she's walking alone in a dark tunnel and stuff.
Yeah, just like a complete distraction.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if anything, like Maddie's just like fidgeting with her necklace, and as she's walking and just kind of like and like kind of trying to make conversation, but like also trying to
I can't imagine how, because she also doesn't know that, I don't think she knows that our Beryl is listening in. I can't imagine how he's reacting to her bullshit.
It was one thing for like talking with Frank and everything. It was one thing, and then it's like, oh, by the way, did you know that like did you know that Mordenkainen was a goat? And you just hear Alberio just going, no, what the, are you dumb? And then because Maddie's so freaked out anyway, she's just going along with it too. So she's like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Tell me more.
Yeah, we can't find his damn spellbooks because he keeps eating them.
Sonari, do you put the blindfold over Maddie's eyes before you step out into the main area?
Let's go. I probably should put the blindfold back on you. I shouldn't have taken it off in the first place, but just like, you know, wouldn't want you to get... Alright, come on, we have to put the blindfold back on. Just to be safe. We don't want to annoy him anymore.
The last thing we need is to have someone think that I wasn't blindfolded the entire time.
Yeah, we can't have people thinking that, like, you know, you might have seen the darkness of the tunnel. Alright, let's go.
Okay, so then I'm gonna bring you two ladies over to a new map.
Ooh.
It's just you two. So there we go. So, I would say that actually you guys are probably more so down here. And as you kind of lead Maddie out, you see that this is a very, well, on a normal day it would be bustling, but it is the middle of the night. So, not as many people out. Obviously, there's some people just keeping watch just in general, because just to be safe. And you lead Maddie through, and you can see that these members who you've known since you were a little kid, Sonari, are kind of eyeing you and whispering to each other. And you know that you're probably going to have to lead Maddie to the sort of the central room, which would be up north here, at this door, where that's where Gabriel would be, and any other members of the sort of council that overlooks the eyes would be. So you're sort of leading Maddie through that, unless you wanted to stop somewhere.
No, I'm just gonna I'm gonna just be taking her straight there. Just like, walk straight through. I'm gonna be ignoring, like, trying to my best to ignore people that are whispering, and just like putting on a happy face, just like, let's go. It's lovely weather we're having right now. Sure, it's indoors, but like, we couldn't probably do an indoor storm at one point. Actually, no, I take that back. I have seen an indoor storm. Oh god, Papa's in that day with Papa. Like, a monsoon in the library should never be a thing. And just,
are you just talking to yourself?
Yeah.
I'm talking. Yeah, I'm just talking to myself. Like,
Maddie's nodding, but like.
Okay.
I don't expect to respond.
And as you step through, Maddie, you see, you don't step through. You knock on the door first, and there's a voice that calls out, goes, "Who is it?"
Sorry, I was on. Oh, it's me. How you going? It's little Sonari.
You hear this person sigh, and the door unlocks, and you see there's a stern-faced woman with what would normally be kind of steely gray eyes, except one of them is missing, so she has an eye patch on, and the other one is looking at you kind of balefully. And as she holds the door open, you see that there's almost like a elevated platform for 5 seats up there. And then there's 2 chairs at the bottom for what you assume is you and Maddie to sit down in front of these 5 chairs. And this woman looks at you, she goes, "Is this her?"
Yes, this is Maddie. Please be nice.
And I would say that you know this woman quite well. Her name is Harmonia. She's about mid-40s. Her hair is kind of a coppery brown. She's got that one steely gray eye with the eye patch. But you know that the council members tend to go by code names, so as to not give that away to anybody outside the eyes. And she goes by Sparrow.
Hey, Captain Sparrow, how you going?
I told you not to call me that. Can you sit your friend down there? I don't know. She goes,
Yeah.
"If I can caution you about something, this is not the time to be joking. This is very serious."
All right. Okay. Come on, Maddie. Let's go sit down. Am I allowed to take the blindfold off her yet, or do I leave her in the darkness?
Leave her.
Gotcha.
And
right.
Harmonia walks up and takes the farthest left seat for you. And about a minute later, 3 men walk in. You can see one of them is Gabriel. He looks terrible. Still has his head bandaged up. There is a taller human man, darker, longer hair, about mid-40s, very dark eyes, kind of a shit-eating grin on his face. He takes a seat next to Harmonia, and then there's a younger man, kind of black, spiky hair, dark, curious eyes. He sits on the other side of Gabriel, so it goes Harmonia, kind of the taller, dark-haired guy, the young Gabriel, and then the younger guy. The 5th seat is left open. As far as you've known, there's only ever been 4 people in those 5 seats. And obviously you know of Harmonia, and you would know that the older gentleman, his name is Wyatt, and the younger gentleman, his name is Shen. They've kind of been brought on by Gabriel several years ago. Gabriel had worked with these folks to kind of form the eyes. You grew up with them. You know their code names. You know their real names. You know that Wyatt is kind of more like, you keep calling Gabriel your uncle, but Wyatt is really more of that uncle energy, I would say. Shen, he's slightly older than you and Gabriel, but he's still quite youthful. He kind of reminds you of Haisong, kind of playful, not so serious, but you know that he's fair and he'll hear people out. And they all take their seats in front of you. The air is very serious. And Gabriel leans forward, puts his hands up like this. He goes, "Thank you for bringing her here this evening."
Well, we weren't. The invitation we were given wasn't exactly optional.
I'm glad you recognize that. He goes, "First and foremost, to those who are not aware, this is Madeline Fitzgerald of the Fitzgerald family." And you hear, Maddie, you have your blindfold on, and you hear an older gentleman's voice kind of whistle and go, "Good Lord, that's not good." And Gabriel goes, "It's very serious that we figure out what to do now that she's become privy to the dealings of the eyes unknowingly. I'm trying to be fair here, and I'd like to think that we can come to some sort of an understanding, Miss Fitzgerald. Additionally, I would like to apologize for my actions earlier. I was caught off guard. And while I recognize that Tsunari might have found a friend in you, your family name, it concerned me. Just due to our history."
Maddie raises her hand. She's not
You-
sure if she's allowed to speak, so that's what she learned in school. It was just
And so
Harmony-
you can hear Sonaris going, "Oh my god."
You hear the woman's voice who Sonari called Captain Sparrow earlier goes, "Do you have a question, young lady?"
I do. And I will understand if you do not want to answer it. I will not ask again after this if you refuse to answer it. Why is my family a concern or an issue? As far as what I've heard from my father droning on about the family business, we import tea and mint leaves and, make our own tea. That's, as much as I know, I don't understand. I don't understand how Me
And
being
you
a Fitzgerald
you
could
hear
be an issue.
the older gentleman kind of laugh disbelievingly and go, "Are you being serious right now?" I can't
She-
tell. She's got a blindfold on.
Completely.
She's not lying. This is what you see is what you get with her.
My brother.
All right. Well,
feels
I
that
will put
this
it
is
in.
Not me.
She goes, "With permission, Gabriel, allow me." And Gabriel goes, "Fine, but let's be civil here." And you hear this older man kind of scoff and go, "Well, can we talk, for instance, about the fact that your family's business, you might just import tea and all that stuff and might make for some pretty little treats at a luncheon, but who goes into the forest to get that stuff? It's not your dad. That's for damn sure."
No, we.
And do you know
Maybe
the mortality rate of workers under the Fitzgerald family, the Sarveris family, the Warrenaris' family? Those are all people like myself and my colleagues here who are being taken advantage of while your father makes a killing financially. And so do you. Maybe adjacent.
Mortality.
Yeah. You know, the forest that y'all send your people into, it's not safe. In fact, it's pretty heavily guarded magically. We don't really know where that magic's stemming from, but I guess if your father loses a couple hundred workers, but makes a lot of money in exchange, that's just the cost of business, isn't it?
Couple hundred
That's just our estimates.
for an average for an excursion.
Not just each excursion. It's about maybe a couple here, a couple there, but they add up.
I'm certain they do.
Listen, and
I
kind of
had no knowledge of.
I
amount.
recognize you're young, and I recognize business is boring, especially when things are taken care of on your father's side.
Yeah.
But this is the reality, and not a lot of people want to address it. And can you understand why we were a little hesitant to let you go, knowing who your father is?
Yes.
So Gabriel leans forward. He goes, "I'm sure you have a lot of questions. I can only answer a couple. I'm hoping we can come to an understanding here. And I'm hoping to make the best of a difficult situation." He goes, "You seem like quite the detective, and so does Sonari."
Thanks. You've known me for years, and I'm great at my job. But thanks.
You see
Sorry.
Gabriel kind of sigh a little. She
I
goes,
just go, sorry, force a habit.
"What we need, first and foremost, we need accurate numbers of the people who have been lost to the forest under your father's business. And we need to know also the recruitment tactics of the Sarveris family, Fitzgerald, Warrenaris, so many others, the Tufts, the Harringtons. Lots of these families have their own businesses. And they seem to lose workers, but they never seem to run out. We don't know if they're snatching people out of their homes, indentured servitude, etc. It doesn't help that there's a plague going through the lower edge right now that really tilts our numbers, but we're in the dark on things like this. If you have any information that might help, and if you're willing to get that information, we can maybe come to an agreement. Otherwise, we're going to be at odds."
Can I do a history check to see how much I know?
Sure.
As far as the mortality rate, I will leave it at that. I imagine like
I
her
don't
mother
think
and
that would be
father were like,
something. Yeah.
yeah, would just like not say anything about it. But as far as like recruitments to see if maybe I heard anything about them like hiring a new person or
I would
things
say
like
that you don't even have to roll for that.
Mhm.
That's not something your dad would have spoken about at the dinner table.
Okay.
Uh,
Would they have said anything in regards of what's in the forest and why it's magically guarded?
I don't
Besides
think
the
I don't
plants?
think he would have said anything in front of you because you're a sweet baby girl, and there's some terrible things in the forest. But there might be some information elsewhere.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
yeah, I don't think he would have spoken about it with you.
Okay. Um. So Maddie once again looks to where she thinks the person is talking.
Which person?
The who was saying that, if I'm willing to give the information, willing to
Oh,
get the
that's
information.
Gabriel. Yeah. So
Gabriel. Yeah.
You can tell from the sound he's dead center.
Okay. So I apologize at this point. I assure you I had no idea about the mortality rate. In regards of hiring more people, or even like the mortality rate, or even what was like what killed them or anything like that. I don't know that information. My mother and father don't speak about that in front of me. However, from what you have told me, I am more than willing to find out.
And you hear
And
that
if
older
I
man sort of lean forward. He goes, "How willing are you?"
I don't know what you mean.
Because what I'm hearing right now is a bunch of very pretty promises, but we let you out of here. How are we gonna know?
Well, an idea I might have.
And you see Gabriel go like,
He just like he's like, what if we, you know, how we brought in High Song, and he was like one of the best decisions that I ever made. We gotta admit this, one of the best.
the difference is that High Song came of his own free will, Sonari.
Sure, I'm not saying we force her into it, but we can make it the option. What if she wanted to join us?
You hear the younger man around Gabriel's age who hasn't spoken yet, kind of chuckle and goes, Is that something you want?" She doesn't want that, Sonari.
It's not that I don't. I don't know. I need to know everything that I would be joining if I were to join. What I can do, which I don't mean to, like, Maddie's not interrupting a guy. Like, if anyone's talking, she's shuts up. But, what am I able to work with you and still give you the information without joining as of now?
Why would
Think
you
of
want?
it as
Why would you want to get this information to us? Just out of curiosity. I know we might be threatening, but what could we really do to the daughter of a very wealthy businessman without
honestly,
bringing stuff down on our heads?
Honestly, it's mostly because I'm being threatened, but I'm going to be looking for that information anyway, even if even if that's not even information that you wanted, if my father is not who he says he is, or who he said he was growing up, and if people are dying because of him, it's something that I think people should know.
You can't see it, obviously, Maddie, but Sonari, you can see that Gabriel is just regarding you two very thoughtfully, but the two men on both of his sides are kind of nodding. The woman doesn't look pleased. Gabriel says, I think we are going to have to deliberate. And he kind of tilts his head, and there's an eyes member who steps forward. He goes, would you mind escorting this young lady into our side room? Make sure she's got some food and water in her. She's going to have a nasty hangover in the morning.
I forgot about.
He points at Sonari. He goes, I want you to stay here. I need to talk to you.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Is there... I want to see if I can subtly move Dane to... Like, because no one's noticed it. Like, Dane, like... I want to see if I can subtly move him to, Maddie, so that, like, she just doesn't feel alone.
Are you doing a sleight of hand?
Yeah, sleight of hand, because I'm not ready to answer questions about why I have a familiar. This is meant to be serious, and I'm not going to be serious about the familiar.
I will say the DC for that is going to be quite high, because you have 4 people looking right down at you two.
Yes.
It's going to be like a 20.
Please. I just need a 16. I need a 16.
16 or higher.
You're fucking kidding me! I rolled a 16! Yeah, I rolled a 16 and I have a +4 to sleight of hand.
Okay. As you very skillfully pass Dane, who kind of creeps out from under your sleeve and up Maddie's sleeve, unbeknownst to any of the members of the council. And there is a young eyes member who escorts the blindfolded Maddie into a side room, and then shuts the door behind her and just stands in front of it.
So, a member of the eyes is in the same room as me?
No, on the door outside.
Door.
Yeah.
She kind of, like, knocks a little bit on. Am I allowed to take my blindfold off in this room?
You don't hear anything.
So I can eat and drink water?
You hear this very young voice go, I guess.
I don't know what I'm allowed to do right now.
I think it's
Thank
fine.
You. Okay. She takes off her blindfold.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
You're in a room with a table and a chair, and there's bread and butter on the table, and a water.
I guess really quick, Sonari, I had forgotten that Dane is a creature of his own free will, and if our Burial told him to stay with you, he would probably stay with you.
So it wouldn't matter what I did, he wouldn't have moved.
Probably.
I was just trying to shake him for like really subtly, and he's like, it's not moving. I'm just like, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Fine. And then I'm just like,
I think we're needing to take a break real quick, because I really have to go to the bathroom. But when we come back, Sonari's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What's new?
All right. Okay. Be back in like 10 minutes, I think.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
about?
Okay. We are back.
Your parents.
Hello.
Your parents did not prepare you for the pop quiz of life.
Right?
Just a little baby muffin.
Welcome
Just a
to
baby.
society. We live in
Yeah,
a
pretty much.
society.
I'm just a rich girl.
In
I'm
a
just a
very rich
girl.
world.
I'm just a girl in the world.
That's all that they'll let me be.
Okay.
Yeah, learning more information about this stuff, she's gonna want to do all that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So we're back. As per usual, I am gonna ask if the people who are separate from this conversation are wanting to do anything before I head back to Sonari and Madeline.
I think Geist is just keeping an eye out, just waiting for anything else.
Yeah, I think Reggie's pretty much in the same boat because he's focused on keeping an eye on our barrel rail in case something changes. So
The only thing changing is his facial expression, going from confused to laughing to angry, and
So if
back
someone
to
asked you a
confused.
question, you would hear it.
I imagine he would register that there's somebody saying something around him, but that it would be like either muffled or if too many people are talking to you at once, like you can't understand what anyone is saying, that type of thing.
Okay.
So like he knows that there's something being said, but whether or not he understands it is a different story.
Okay.
Good old Greg. Good old Greg.
All right. Well, then if nothing's happening over there, I'm just going to go back to Sonari in front of the council. Gabriel is looking down at you. Shut up. Gabriel's looking down and he goes, if you have questions, now would be the time to ask. Otherwise, I will just...
What was your What level of involvement did you have with the Partington death?
He glances over at the other council members. Give me 1 second here. A large part. But what you have to understand, Sonari, is that the Partington men are never going to die natural deaths. He goes, it's hard to explain. And at this point, you see Harmonia lean forward across this gentleman in between them, who, you know, his name is Wyatt. She goes, I was under the impression that Lord Partington was starting to deteriorate or become corrupted, as all the Partington men do. And Gabriel goes, I was not completely honest about that. And Harmonia and Wyatt and Shen all just look like very confused.
And I just like, what? Gabriel, what did you do?
The fact of the matter is that the Partington men have a history. And no matter how normal they seem from the beginning, they eventually devolve into this corrupted version of themselves. They become cruel, they become selfish, and it harms us as a whole, the lower edge. You know Lord Solantis, have you ever met him? When you were there unsanctioned at the Partington Ball?
Oh, so we're throwing me under the bus now. All right, got it.
They already know. They already know. I had to let them know. I didn't tell them why, because frankly, I don't know why. But did you happen to meet Lord Solantis while you were there?
Probably. Can't say that he was exactly my target.
I understand. If you met him, you would remember, because he is... He used to be a very kind, genial man, but sometime around his 50th birthday, he completely flipped a switch, and he is no longer that kind, genial man. He became very cruel, very cold, very corrupt. And it's not just him. It's been scores of these Partington men. It was Solantis, Gregor before Solantis, Emerson before Gregor, and so on and so forth. There is something that happens to these men where I can't explain it, but every time that's happened, people have suffered. Whether it's workers who are being pushed or disappeared or neglected, or just the people of Sargenty in general, the rich getting richer, etc. And it's difficult. It was difficult with Lord Rasmus Partington, because he had acquired such goodwill that if he turned, it would be even worse than his father or his grandfather before him, because he has a lot of influence. You've seen him, right? He's a very kind guy.
He was, yes.
He was. With that being said, we have been keeping an eye on him for over 20 years now. And in fact, one of our own has been living with him for that time. And for that sole purpose. If there was ever a change, it was to be reported and it would get taken care of. With that being said, I have not been completely honest. I wasn't told of any change. And he looks at Harmonia and he says this. You kind of get the sense that Harmonia is kind of like the mother of the group, even though these men are very much in their own sort of sense of power. He goes, about a month ago, when the Partington Ball was announced, I was approached by a hooded figure, and they approached me, and they were seeking out the Eye's services to essentially take out Lord Rasmus. And originally I refused. I did refuse, as it would destabilize the position of our own, who is there at the moment, but also because he had been doing a lot of good for the community. You know, he was working with Our Lady of Life, and many other things, the church, with help for those with the plague. It didn't make sense to me. And this... You see, he looks almost pained as he is recounting this. And you see that his 3 members look extremely angry. And he goes, I originally refused because we hadn't gotten the signal from our member on the inside that anything was happening with Lord Rasmus. When I said no, this figure threatened Asher. And Sonari, you know Asher is Gabriel's little brother. And the plague that's been going through, Asher came down with that about 2 months ago, and he'd been fighting it, but he'd been steadily getting worse. And he goes, he threatened my brother, and he told me, and he's almost beseeching his fellow council members. He goes, like, he told me that there was a cure being worked on for the plague, and that if I agreed to this, Asher would be first in line, and that would help with getting the cure out faster for the people of Sargenty, and that's important. It's more important than one person. And if I said no, they were gonna bar him from getting any assistance at all, and nothing would be put out in terms of this plague. He goes, it's taken so many of our people already. It's taken Ferris, it's taking Harmonia, it's taken your sister, Marguerite, it's taken your mother, Wyatt. Nobody seems to be doing anything. Maybe it was naive of me, I don't know, but it seemed like too much to risk for one man, and I am extremely sorry that I did not get the sanction for this, but I was told if I shared this with anyone, it would be deals off. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
And Wyatt goes, I don't know what to say to that.
Oh,
He
Selene
goes,
above. God, what?
Harmonia leans forward. She goes, that was stupid. But I can understand. There is hope there for your brother and your brother only. And he goes, yeah, I guess I was hoping that my brother wouldn't die.
And you having a go at me.
You're right. I shouldn't have been having a go at you for being at the Partington Ball without letting one of us know.
Like, I can't even be angry at you because I was there for almost the same reason you were, except I wasn't there to kill anyone. Christ. I wouldn't say Jesus Christ. Who the fuck's Jesus?
Well, the thing of it is that I have compromised our agent there. And you see Shen goes, what do you mean? And he goes, when I was on the run, Obadias came out of nowhere and asked me what I was doing. And I was hoping to avoid him, but he must have known.
Are you kidding me?
Am I kidding you?
Obadiah is our contact?
Obadias has been a part of the Eyes since he was about your age when you joined.
Oh my god. You know that he's been accused of the murder, right?
I understand. And he knows a little bit of what's been going on. Well, that's not entirely true. He was very angry with me when he confronted me in the Partington's garden. And Wyatt goes, he confronted you? What do you mean? What does that mean? And Gabriel goes, he was sent out to find who had done this to Lord Partington, and we clashed in the garden, and I tried to explain about Asher and the cure, and he said that I only did this because I knew you guys would never have sanctioned this, and that I I was being used, and I didn't like hearing that. And he said that he has heard of no whispers of a cure for the plague being worked on for the lower edge. And I should have known, but
Desperation makes people do stupid shit.
And I accused him of being blinded by his love for the Partingtons and Marina and Rasmus, especially, and he had forgotten his loyalty to the Eyes. And I feel terrible saying that, but yes. We scuffled, and he did this to me.
I can tell you that he is still extremely loyal, because either you hit him on the head so hard that he doesn't remember anything, or he's kept his mouth shut.
I'm not that strong.
Yeah.
And then
the only reason why we haven't got the entire side of Sargenty coming down on our heads is because he's keeping his mouth shut.
I feel badly for him. There is one more thing, and then you three, not you, he points at Sonari, you three are free to do whatever you want with me. If you wish to kick me out, I understand. He goes, but one of the things that this figure who approached me with this contract, one of their demands was that the weapon I used would be stashed somewhere that could be picked up. The weapon was very important to them for some reason, which I used a knife that they had given me. And when I felt very torn after what Obadiah had said, that I was a pawn and I was being used, and it just, something felt off about that, and him saying that there wasn't even a cure being worked on, it just seemed to click as obvious as, of course they're not. Of course this is just me being naive. And so instead of stashing the knife at the rabbit's foot, which was agreed upon, I put it with Obadiah's, because I had hoped that if he is taken in, the weapon would also be taken in and kept away from people for any other nefarious purposes, hopefully locked up as evidence. And then they would be able to see that there's none of his fingerprints on it, there's anything, because I also wore gloves during that. So, but I hope that it would be enough to see, like, if he gets taken in, they'll just keep the knife with them and no one would be able to touch it. Because there was just something off about that. I feel stupid.
Out of character question, I just wanted to ask. Reggie, did you ever tell us that
Yes, I did.
You told all of us.
I told you all about the sword or the knife going missing. Reggie
Gotcha.
Has definitely talked to Gaius about it for sure, and I've definitely explained it to our burial as well, and I eventually got to you two about it as well.
Yep, gotcha. Just want to make sure that I like definitely knew this before I made.
I knew it was coming. I was like, please, please lay it on him.
Yeah. So, how would you feel knowing that the barracks was attacked and the murder weapon's been taken? You aware about that? You did recon? Someone broke into the barracks and took the murder weapon, and Obadiah is still being held. It's done. What you did achieved nothing. All it achieved was one of our own being accused of murder that he didn't do, destabilized everything for the region, and put the eyes at risk. Oh, and this is just my own personal grief. Jeopardize my own mission to save my father. And I can't even be too mad at you because I love Asher. I love little Ash. And I know exactly what you're feeling and the desperation to feel to save your family member. But goddamn you, Gabriel.
At this moment, Harmonia leaves forward. She goes, I understand that you are upset, but please keep in mind, this is a ranking officer. He will be dealt with by his colleagues here, and I am frankly at a loss at what to do here, but it will be handled, Sinari. Gabriel goes, I recognize if you three run me out of town like past traitors, and I wouldn't blame you. I've been played, and I should have been smarter. I think at that point, or sorry, were you gonna say something?
I'm just in like Sanara's just sitting there like, you know, broiling in anger. But also like she wants to be angry and she wants to be like, get the fuck out of town, like, you know, but also she's like she knows that in her position, if they threatened her father, like she can't say she wouldn't have done something similar. Like, so she's just like, you know, just fuming silently.
Wyatt sits back. He goes, all right, so we know what we know. I can assume that the law enforcement is still not aware that Obadiah is a member of the Eyes. And Shen shakes his head, goes, no, I don't think Obadiah would ever let them know that. He goes, all right. He goes, we can either... He goes, did you see anything about this person who contracted you to kill Lord Partington? And Gabriel goes, unfortunately, I know it was a man. He was tall and broad. He had a hood up. He had a slight strange voice. He might have been using magic to disguise it. He seemed very high up. Who would have the ability to just keep anything like that from the lower edge, like a cure? He must be very high up, or at least connected to someone who's high up. I do know that he was to collect the weapon later that night at the Rabbit's Foot. But since it was brought in by law enforcement with Obadiah, that is a bit of a dead end.
Do you ever see his hands?
I did not. No.
So you can't tell if he was young, old.
I will say that the authority that he had around him, he presented as an older gentleman. Not like old, but... Is there anything at the prison that would have anything left behind of whoever broke in and stole? Or... He goes, how do you know that happened?
I have a contact that I met at the party who is a member of the wing. And he confided in me that took place. As he has been investigating what happened to Lord Partington, he has been racked with guilt, believing that he is at fault for Obadiah being blamed for the murder.
Is he good friends with Obadiah's? Like, longtime friends?
I do not know about how long they've been friends, but he was the one who encouraged Obadiah to follow the strange figure he saw fleeing the party after Lord Partington had been killed.
You see Wyatt kind of goes, that's nothing to feel guilty about. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, but wings types and everything, they're all noble paragons and all that kind of crap. That's like,
You're not wrong. You are not wrong there.
Yeah.
Okay. This Wings contact. What's his name?
Reginald.
That doesn't ring a bell to me. Do you know how it was stolen? Like how they went about it, or?
As far as I'm aware, like they broke in and took the damn thing. I don't remember any of the details. I might have had a drink or two, but I do remember the seriousness of it, especially because now one of the few things that we could have used to investigate was gone.
You don't remember anything?
Effie asking, do I remember any? Did
What did
Reginald give
Reggie
anything?
share?
I don't know if we described the situation as being a blackout, but I do remember that he did share that it was broken into without any casualties. It was a very deliberate in and out kind of thing.
It would
murders.
be. Would you share that it was done by magic? Probably, like someone didn't just walk in. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely something was obfuscated in the attempt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I was going to say. It was a very direct hit. There wasn't any casualties as far as I am aware. The way that it was taken, they suspect magic was involved simply because there is no way like anyone could have gotten in and out without being spotted.
Harmonia leads forward, and you see her gray eye kind of flash. She goes, "Magic leaves traces. Did anybody investigate, like, anything left in there? Or were they looking for footsteps, or...?"
Well, that's how we found the bit. I don't know about I know that magic was investigated, and that's how they. But also
How so?
that's how
Because as far as I'm knowledgeable, the Wings are not exactly mages. Did they look around, be like, "I'm looking for a poof of dust. I don't see anything. Magic is very subtle." Do you know if they investigated it properly?
I don't know about barracks on site, how they investigated it.
Okay.
I'm going by the information from him.
It would be just like a Wings member to think that they know everything. Okay, so we
were investigating magical things regardless, so I presume that at least my contact is self-aware enough to like find an expert on the matter.
Did Reggie do that?
Who do you think Marina is?
Did you bring Marina to the barracks?
No. However, that'll be the next step.
Okay.
Because
Sinari's just like, I believe Reginald is smart enough to ask Marina for help. I don't know if he has, but considering that I literally was helping Reginald track magical footsteps, I kind of went, it makes sense that he probably would. I don't know if he has yet, but
here's the thing. Magic, it's not just... Magic can be used to track footsteps, obviously, but the traces left behind by magic, it's very subtle. You're going to need a very powerful wizard, sorcerer, magic user in general. We have contacts of our own that we could reach out to and see if they could take a look for us. She kind of looks over at Wyatt, Gabriel, and Shen for their approval. And Wyatt goes, if that's who I think it is, then I am all for it. You know, I always like to see her. And Harmonia goes like, I think the priority right now is clearing Obadiah's name, possibly finding the murder weapon, although that could be long gone. Gabriel pipes up. He goes, one more thing I need to add is that the person who employed me said it was a 2-part murder. And Harmonia goes like, these rich people and their overly fancy assassinations. 2-part murder, what does that mean? And Gabriel goes, it was to be poison by something that's taken out of the Vivarius forest. He was told that his side has a supply of them taken in from the forest. He also said that it causes great pain. Horrible pain. Your insides are essentially liquefied. And at the height of agony, I was to get a bit of Lord Partington's blood on the knife, which is why it had to be stashed at the Rabbit's Foot later for pickup. I didn't understand it, but I don't know if that helps. And
Question, Gabriel. Have you ever read a book? Hooded figure asks you to stab someone and get a bit of their blood. It doesn't make you think, I wonder what dark magic ritual this could be for.
Well, Sonari, with respect, I've had some pretty messed up contracts in the past. People wanting fingers, people wanting penises, something as normal as an ear taken off. Sometimes it's an ego thing saying, I have the weapon with this man's blood on it.
Yeah. I guess. I just think that, like, a tiny bit of blood is a bit different from a cock, but, you know.
I know that there are some in the past, not that I've done them, who have prided themselves on having the murder weapon in plain sight and knowing that no one knows and everything like that. I just assumed it was something along that ilk, but if it means something else that I'm not familiar with. And are you some kind of great mage, Sonari? Do you know which magic ritual this is talking about?
I've got no idea, but I've
Well,
read
there you
enough
go. Harmonia cuts in. She goes, neither of you would know anything about a dark ritual like this. I don't even know anything about that. She goes, we can always talk to our contact and see if there's anything going on where blood has to be taken at the moment of agony. I've never heard of anything like that. She goes, okay. Regarding your friend, Sinari, it's imperative that she works with us. I hope you can make her see that this is for her benefit. We don't want to hurt her.
I don't want to hurt her.
I never said you did. She goes, she just seems like a simple girl with no head for business. Maybe not aware of what her father is doing. Even so, I'll keep my judgments to myself. If you are able to get some information about her father's dealings, it might tie into who is getting this poison from the forest. That's something that could be a lead as well. Your friend, your contractor said that they have a supply coming in. The forest is a dangerous place, and I'm sure this sort of poison He's not easy to find. And he goes like, it was called Nightwing or something. I've never heard of that. She goes, oof. Yeah, Nightwing is not fun.
I heard it was invented by a guy named Dick Grayson.
Anyway, she goes, would you step into the room with Maddie? We just need to talk amongst ourselves for a minute. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. And the eye member steps aside, opens the door for you, and Maddie's there, enjoying some nice bread and cheese, a little bit of wine. Unharmed.
It would have been so funny if I saw her doing it with the blindfold still on. I know she's taken it off at this point, but I would have walked in and be like, why the fuck is it still on?
They didn't tell me it.
I just see her. Yeah, I just see her and go, oh, hey, how you going? Ooh, what wine did they give you? Oh, just a cheap crap.
Wine is wine.
That it is. I'm holding the bottle and I see there's only one cup. I'm like, you done drinking this?
She like pushes the cup towards you. By all means.
Okay. I unplug the wine and start drinking from the bottle.
Stress relief in many different ways.
So, you're alright?
As alright as I can be, all things considered.
I guess.
Did they say anything about whether or not they believed me, that I didn't know anything about?
Oh, they 100% believe you. They think that you no head for business. That sort of thing. But
Pretty sure my brother shares the same sentiment.
But they do. They really do want your help, especially because apparently we're run by idiots. Good. Maddie can't hear anything that goes on inside from this room, can she?
Mm-mm.
Someone's played my organization for a fool and I'm pissed off. Maddie. Also, the fact is, can anyone hear me in this room? Like,
Is it soundproof both ways?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just don't be yelling like you normally do.
I never yell. What are you talking about? As I said, I just pull back my sleeve to show Dane, and put on lean on the table with him, and I'm like, all right, you're listening in, buddy. Like, I don't know.
Nods.
Yeah. Okay. Good. He's probably heard all this shit, but because he's been hanging out, but. The guy you met, Gabriel, was tricked into assassinating Lord Partington. Tricked and threatened. So we have found out who killed him. But the reason why is... No, we still don't know. Gabriel got approached by a hooded figure who wanted... your Lord Partington poisoned very specifically, and have a specific murder weapon taking his blood in the middle of being poisoned, and thought everything was fine, but also his little brother was threatened, so I'm just pissed off. The point is, the poison is Nightwing from the Favrea's Forest, and that's what we need to look at. We need, aside from looking into your family for how awfully they treat workers. We need to figure out if your family could be the one that smuggled in the poison. If they have a connection to this hooded figure who wants this specific like ritual crap that no one else thinks is dark magic. Because apparently none of them have read like, you know, a book. I should throw them. Like, I'm probably sure there's gonna be like 16 dark magic rituals or something written by Gaius. Like, you know, at least he could back me up.
Right.
Getting sidetracked. Anyway, we need to find out if your family has tracked down the smuggled in this Nightwing thing. Maybe they have connection to someone that has smuggled in the Nightwing thing. By the way, I may be talking loudly, but Sinari is like talking at it like whispering. I just can't do volume control.
Maddie, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I think this has been something that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that I had the similar way of thinking of having when we found out that it was Nightwing, and found out that, you know, it's only harvested in the forest, the same forest that my family did. And that was why Gaius was going to have dinner and know more information about the business and like possibly see ledgers about, I mean, it doubtful if they're collecting poison, if it would be written down, but to investigate further in regards of that.
Sure, and you can also remember when you were in the kitchen making your dad a cup of tea, you got that very high roll, and you noticed that there was the Weraneris's symbol on the tea, and you know that the Weraneris's are kind of bodyguard escort, like escorting goods and stuff
that's right.
to prevent from attack. So they very well could be tied in as well. There's just a lot, as Reggie would put, pies with fingers.
Finger pies. Oh.
Too many pies.
That's called party pies.
Too many cooks.
And then,
So just how big this thing is, it's unknown.
So Maddie's. We were planning on telling you after figuring out. Gaius and I were planning to tell you once there was something to tell, but that was one of our theories, that because it's in the same forest that we import from, and we thought maybe some people broke off and harvested the poison, possibly, or if they would know anything about it. And
sorry, you can.
When I was making tea for my father yesterday, or either yesterday or earlier today, I don't remember game time.
It's past midnight now.
Technically yesterday, I guess. I was making tea and I noticed a seal on one of the boxes of it. What was it that you said, Moss? Mayfair? Like, what was the thing? What did I find when I made tea?
You found a small stamp, and you knew that it was the seal of the Weraneris's.
Weraneris. Yeah. I don't know where I got Mayfair from.
That's okay.
But it was a Weraneris seal. So
wait, the Weraneris. Are you sure?
It does. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I read.
Okay. Do you know if your family do often work with them, or what am I asking for you for? You haven't.
I don't.
You know nothing. You know nothing.
It just made things. I know nothing, and it just made things more suspicious. And I was going to tell you once we had proper evidence, and then the whole knife to my throat thing happened, and I got distracted.
Yeah, it's a natural distraction that, like, you know, even if it's like not a big deal, it is a bit annoying whenever you get a knife to the throat. Like,
but they do security, right?
Yeah, security, bodyguards, that sort of hire stuff. So why would they be on a stamp for what, your tea?
A box of my father's tea when I made it. I don't believe that they would be I don't believe that they would be the ones that we sell, like going out publicly. It's just at least for him. I mean, I was told that the forest was dangerous, and that's why it's magically guarded. So I figured, if they would have security detail. I figured that was just extra muscle for whatever creatures were in the forest.
No. Okay. So, not only is your family possibly involved, so could the Wanaris family possibly be involved too, which could work out well.
In our burial, through Dane, you probably also perked up when you heard your family's last name mentioned as well. Because they do a lot of business with stuff that involves the forest as well. And they do a lot of importing, exporting.
Yep.
Goes all the way to the top.
So we have a lot of ground to cover. Okay. You said that you and Gaius were figuring out something. Like, what was that?
Figuring out if there was, well, just in general, figuring out about the actual business side of things. And if it's possible to get to see who's working for my father, the father specifically.
Okay. All right. So, how about I can help. I don't know what you already have planned with Gaius, and I'm not going to tread on any toes between you two. That's your own little business. But if you need help with figuring it out, if you got, you could be a great distraction to keep your father out of the office. My whole shtick is breaking into places. I can take a look at some papers, find out what they're involved in.
Gaius is going to be meeting my father for dinner tonight.
With your mother?
No, my mother is suspiciously out of the house that night.
Ah, that makes sense.
She has a prior engagement, book club, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it came up so suddenly too.
Yes, emergency meeting. A new book came out, I suppose. No, my father wasn't quite happy about it, but he agreed if my mother wasn't involved.
Yeah. Sanari just wants to keep making jokes, but she knows she needs to focus.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's gonna be coming around and talking business with your dad, and then what happens afterwards? Like, do you just talk the business, or is someone going to look? As if I'm going to break into the office and actually look for these papers, look for evidence.
We could have him be the distraction.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, there are not many things more distracting in this world than guys to book.
You are correct about that.
There's just got to be a point where we need to make sure that he's distracting long enough before he becomes security, throw this man out of the house distracting.
If there's one thing that Gaius is known to be good at doing, it's talking.
So while he's distracting your dad, you're going to sneak into the office and rummage through papers and get any evidence that you can find.
That was the basis the basics of my plan. Out of character, Corey, do you know if there was anything more to it than that?
There was nothing fleshed out. It was
Yeah.
pretty much Guy's understanding was he was going to go there and he was going to talk to her father and just play it by ear.
Okay. So, I suppose if you were to come over for dinner as well, or just, we could
I would
have
love
that.
to come over. That'd
Hell,
be
just invite
great.
everybody.
We could have a whole thing. You know how
My-
dinner of the Fitzgeralds. Oh my god.
I'm
Okay,
suddenly
okay.
laughing.
My father-
Done.
One thing that you didn't to know, my father does think that we spent today all day together, and that I left to meet you. So we need to come
so
up with.
I'm the new friend. Perfect. This works
It-
out so
It
well.
seems to already. It seems to already work out that.
I'm the friend chaperone as well. That's for you and
Yes.
Gaius.
Just beware my mother. She will not join for dinner, but I'm certain that she will at least try to meet Gaius. And
I
if
can chaperone them too.
I tell her that I'm having another friend come over, she will try her best to stay. So just
As
she
I
will
said,
talk your ear off.
I'm not too experienced with mothers, but Papa is a big talker, and I inherited it from him. So I'll probably be able to handle her to an extent.
Okay. Yes, and she is on a time constraint. She will be on a time constraint tomorrow, or that time she,
Has to
So
go out to the new book club. Yeah.
yeah, all of that. Um, all of that obviously a cover story for whatever else she's doing, but I don't know her life. But we could. I feel like having another friend there might lessen the load of having Gaius over, and then my father doesn't like to talk specifics about the business with me. He talks about the products endlessly and about how much money he's making. And occasional coworker debacle, but
Our Burial, you would know just from taking over the business that you've definitely worked alongside Lord Fitzgerald before. So, two business guys worked together before, and before you found out all this stuff about him, you thought Lord Fitzgerald was actually kind of a cool dude, and
one of the good ones.
yeah, he yeah, so you know him business like pretty well.
Gotcha.
So we could have dinner, and he might take that business conversation in the study, but I'm not sure how we can make him stay in the dining room while we search his office. We'll have to figure something out.
We absolutely could. And if you can't slip away, I can slip away. I'm very good at it. So all we gotta do is make sure the one that doesn't slip away is Gaius, because that's just gonna cause more trouble. Gaius has to be the one that stays and does the distraction. He needs to keep talking. And you
Yes.
two work well. You two work well off each other. I just sit there and insult him. I'm not trying to be an asshole. It's just funny.
It is funny. Do your best not to insult my father. Insulting Gaius is one thing, but
I can only promise to try.
be on your best behavior.
Yes, ma'am. And I just do a stupid salute. Alright, I don't know when they're gonna let us out, but, just make sure that you, reassure them that you're going to help. Like, you have no issue with it. And
Are
we'll
they
find
going to make me join the eyes?
They won't make you. We can't make anyone. It was just a suggestion I had because you can't. It was just a suggestion I had as a layer of protection. You have to really be a traitor to us for anyone to turn on you here. But we don't force anyone to join.
I think Dane speaks up at this point in Arbel Real's voice because he can only hold back his comments for so long. Like, you mean a traitor, like an unsanctioned murderer?
Jesus Christ, you can talk!
Oh.
I mean, Celine above, but not like...
Hello. There's a red spot at the base. There's a red spot at the base.
I didn't know that you were a talker. My bad. And yes, if he wasn't so high up, he probably wouldn't survive it.
I mean, one thing that my father did teach me was to make sure you read all parts of the contract twice before signing. So
and that's a good thing.
If I were to join the eyes, I would have to know everything about them, and I don't think that they'd be willing to give me all the information. But
There is a certain level of blind trust that you need to have when you first join up. I'm a legacy member, so it's a bit harder for me, a bit different for me. I already knew a lot of stuff going in just because I was raised around it.
But I am, like I told them, I'm more than willing to work with them. If, I think we need to figure out what's going on, because if my father is doing things that he shouldn't be doing, I don't think that anyone should be exempt from justice or due process. I don't suppose it's...
Are you sure you don't have a future in the wings? Sound a lot like Reggie right now.
No.
Does Reggie hear you say that?
I imagine sometimes
mumbling.
that
mumbling.
I would think
he,
that
he
if you're
like
talking,
whispers it almost.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, Reggie can probably hear that.
Reggie just like, I wonder who's like me, while he stacks another fucking house of cards on top of him.
Oh, he's done with stacking other cards. So.
No,
Now he's balancing chairs.
Okay.
I have no interest in joining the wings. I just believe I believe in right and wrong, and there are certain gray areas, but intent is what matters most.
What do you know? You sound like an IS member. And I mean that, she means that in the nicest way possible. Gives her a pat.
I think if you guys are done talking, you hear a small knock on the door, and that eyes member who was standing outside says, could you put her blindfold back on? They want to speak to both of you.
Gotcha. Alright. You done with your food? Last chance before I, send you back to the dock.
However, if you're still chewing while they talk to you.
She takes the one last bite and she's like,
Alright, and I just turn it on and just Oh, whoop, a bit too tight there. Alright, let's go. Oh, and I put the sleeve back down and just like, okay, you stay quiet. And I put the sleeve back down.
Okay, and the eyes member guides you two back to your chairs. And Harmonia leads forward and she goes, we've been discussing amongst ourselves. Miss Fitzgerald, our offer still stands. We need information about the goings-ons of your father's business and any adjacent businesses as well, if you happen to find that. This isn't just your father who is doing this, so I don't know if that is a comfort to you or not, but with that being said, we will be letting you go, but we need to come to a formal agreement that you will be bringing us this information. And you have a week. If we do not hear from you at the end of the week, it's not going to be pretty. I don't want to have to do that, but I will.
Okay. So to clarify exactly what you want me to, the information that you want me to bring.
We need information about your father's doings regarding his business. We need exact numbers, if you're able to get it, of the people who have been lost or died under working for him. If you're able to get names, I know that would put a lot of people's minds at ease in the lower edge, knowing that they have some closure regarding their family members.
So you think that even your belief, I apologize to interrupt. So you believe that those that work for my father and go missing, their families aren't notified?
A lot of people go missing in the lower edge. It's unfortunate, but to know that they got lost in the forest or they succumbed to the plague, I hope you never have to seek out closure like that, Miss Fitzgerald, but it is a comfort.
Okay.
And she goes, it is with a heavy heart that we announce that the member who threatened you, you know his name is Gabriel. He is no longer a member, or he no longer has his rank in the Eyes. He is still an Eyes member, but he is on probation. I apologize that you had to deal with that. But the deal still stands. If we don't hear from you in a week, what Gabriel did will very much pale.
Okay.
And Sinari, I would very much appreciate it if you could assist Miss Fitzgerald with this. It's not an easy undertaking.
Of course, I'm not gonna let a poor newbie like her go in alone.
And I should say, Sinari, if you do not help Miss Fitzgerald deliver, I will have to put you on probation as well, as you did take an unsanctioned trip to the Partington Ball without letting the council know. I'm letting you off because Gabriel did that same thing and did something grievous, but you are on strike too.
I'm always on strike two. Okay, understand. Strike two here, strike two at the bar.
probably not good to advertise that. She goes, if it's all right with you, it has been a very long night. I give you leave to head on out.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get going. We've also had a very long night. Sargenty and Idol really takes it out of you. Have you seen it recently, Captain Sparrow? And I'm just start talking to shit as I help Maddie up and just walk towards the door.
She doesn't answer. But you see
Well,
that
I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting the answer.
you see Wyatt leans over and kind of murmurs something in her ear. And you can give me a perception check if you want to.
13 plus perception plus 1, so it's 14.
You see that he's smiling as he says it, and he glances at Maddie and you, but unfortunately you don't pick up what he says.
I'm just gonna pretend that he's saying something really good about us, and then just be on my way.
And you guys leave the Eye's headquarters, and you're out back in that kind of underground market area. Maddie, you're still blindfolded.
I'm not taking the blindfold off her until we're out of the shop, out of Frank's shop.
Sure. And are you guys heading straight there?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
I actually kind of go, hold on, Maddie.
Yes.
This is going to suck for a minute because of the fact that I can't take the blindfold off you, but I do need to ask about something important to me. So, I'm going to take you with me, but we're going to be just here a little bit longer. And I'm going to go try and find someone who would know about my father and his progress.
You can just head back to your dwelling.
Yep.
It's not very far from there. You can see that Haisung is there. He kind of looks very surprised to see Madeline with you, blindfolded, but he doesn't say anything. He goes,
yeah, I know. Long night.
You know what? That's fine. He kind of steps back and you see your father asleep because it's the middle of the night. He looks tired. There's some dark circles under his eyes, but he looks kind of like he's having a fitful sleep. And Haisung says he's been doing all right, considering.
We got him to eat.
I did get him to eat.
Thank God.
Yeah. He didn't fight me on it as usual, which is nice. He goes, "What is going on? What is? I'm sorry, I have to ask. Who is this?"
This is Madeline Fitzgerald. You actually kind of saw her at the Partingtons, when we went.
Oh, Miss Fitzgerald. It's very nice to meet you. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances.
Yeah,
May I say that you pull off a blindfold ravishingly.
I would say nice to see you, but
But you can't. That's good, my lady. That is good. He goes, "Well, welcome. You probably don't remember me, but my name is Haisung. I'm a good friend of Sonari's."
And Haisung is also of your ilk.
Can we not?
Listen here, rich boy.
Ilk?
You know, you give people a lot of crap for blabbing, but you've got a mouth like a motor. I'm just saying.
You gave her your name.
Yeah, there's a lot of Haisungs out there.
yeah, he gave me his first name, to be fair, Sonari.
Now she's gonna narrow it down, and then she's gonna find me, and I guess I'm gonna have to take her out to dinner. Oh, Sonari, you wily
Yeah,
bastard.
look here, listen, your competition is going to be Gaius Tybalt, like, you know.
I'm not scared of him. I've got a foot on him.
I'm
I'm
pretty sure he likes that anyway. I don't know. Anyway, hang
and
out
she,
with
Maddie whispers, she's like, I'm also not married, so I don't think I'm very much Gaius's actual type.
Damn.
Does have a type.
I start cackling the moment that she says it, like,
Maybe
oh,
he's branching out. Maybe he's branching out.
Gaius isn't even there and he's catching strays.
Yes, you're the one who made that character, bro.
She goes, you hang out with Haisung for like 5 seconds. Like, he's gonna make sure you don't walk into a pole or something. I just needed to go and look at this. There's not
very
no,
nice
there's
to
not
go
many-
and look at something.
A sass. Yay.
Yeah, Maddie, give it back. Let's go.
I just kind of
She's
pause and I
slowly
just go.
getting more confident.
I kind of pause as she says that and I go, I'm proud of you. And I just turn, I go back. I go to my where my dad's fitfully sleeping, and I just like take a look. And like I do a thing that he used to do when I was a kid, and just like stroke his hair and sing a little lullaby to see if it helps him like
You
rest a
see
bit more.
A look of peace kind of makes his features slacken a bit, and he relaxes more so into the bed. But he is looking a bit wan, even though Haisung did say he ate. Can't tell whether it's just because of old age or just the effects of this dealio on him. Sorry, Maddie, what were you saying?
It's okay. There is something that I would like to see, and I would like to ask both Malls and Maddie would ask Sonari's permission. If possible, I do have detect thoughts. You know, if he's having a restful sleep, I could like, you know, if I could use that, if I could cast that spell to use it on, try to see what is bothering him.
That's
But-
Sonari's call, if you wanted.
You want to look in? Actually,
Since thoughts, I could read his thought. I could read his thoughts if I could see him. And
okay.
I learn what's most on his mind right now.
Okay. I have an idea, but it'd be no good to know more because it's hard to get him to talk nowadays, at least to me. Okay. I will make you do not look away from where I'm going to be pointing your head. And I'll take off the blindfold just a little bit for you momentarily I'll just push the blindfold up a little bit so you can see, but then it's going to have to go back down. Like, I don't care if this is the inside of my house, so I don't really care if you know about too much about it, but you can't turn around and look out, like, you know, the windows and stuff, okay? Alright. So I just gently pull up the blindfold a little bit.
Right. And I'll cast detect thoughts. Let's see, I don't need to. It lasts for a minute. So let's see,
Okay.
I could. I don't think that there's anything other than that. Yeah.
Correct. As you cast a spell, Sonari, you see 5 sort of balls of light exit out of Maddie's fingers connected by a silvery strand, and they kind of float down and weave their way into your father's head. And Maddie, as your eyes close, as you're focusing on the spell, you can see fitful flashes of images in front of your mind. It's not a peaceful dreaming. It's stressful. You see, almost looking through someone's point of view, a tall, dark-haired elven man in front of you. His eyes are full of love. You see two young laughing girls as you sit out in the sunshine with them with a book in your lap. You see a very starry night and the sounds of celebration from a far-off party. And as your eyes travel from that starry night down to the ground, you see a lifeless form face down in a puddle of blood. You feel anxiety, despair, but strangely not out of love for this character, for this person in front of you, but anxiety elsewhere. Your mind keeps flashing to that tall, dark-haired elven man, and you see the night slowly fade into the sun's rise, getting golden warm with cotton candy pinks, and you feel a sense of aloneness. And as you look down, you see your hands are kind of resting on a very full stomach with a child. And you can feel a little bit of your heart chipping away the longer you stay in that dream.
I can't describe it as eloquent as you did, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that I explained what the dream was.
Sure.
If Maddie's out of the thoughts, like she's pulled out, she'll see that Scenaria is like just start. Her face hasn't changed, but like her tears are starting to roll down her face. And she wipes them away before she can say anything about it, and she goes, "Okay, yeah, that sounds that lines up. Oh God, Papa. Okay, thank you, Maddie.
Of course. If there's...
Hey, hi, son. Can you give us a minute?
I'm gone. Steps out.
Thanks.
If there's anything else I could do.
There's not much else you can do unless you suddenly turn out to be my long lost father. But if you know what you've seen, you could take a guess that you're not exactly the half-elven nobleman. I don't know a lot about where I came from. A lot of it's secondhand from my aunts. But after Papa got cursed, I made them tell me a lot more. Papa has been a member of the Eyes for so long, and one of his earliest missions was to infiltrate the Winaris family. Like, they're supposedly better now, but their granddaddy was a bitch, apparently. Anyway, he went in pretending to be, the youngest daughter's tutor, nanny. I can't really remember. He was just supposed to be simple, like, stay in the background, look after the kid. And he fell in love with the second son, Lysanthir Berinaris. I don't know the sordid details of their tragic love affair, but I know Papa really loved him. Even if he never told me his name or anything about him. I could see when he thought I wasn't looking. My aunts won't tell me exactly what happened. I don't even think they actually know it. But my aunt, it wasn't just my aunt that Papa was tutoring. The youngest daughter, it was also her friend. One night, there was a party, and my aunt and her friend were discovered with the body of her grandfather, the head of the family, dead on the ground. And it pretty much looked like that they killed him. They won't tell me the details of what happened. But Papa, who was under an assumed identity at the time because that's what you do in the eyes, you don't just go tell everyone your name. I shouldn't have been using my real name. I was dumb and impulsive. He took the blame. He pretended to be this sordid assassin villain who killed not just the grandfather, but killed the precious granddaughter and the granddaughter's best friend. When really, he took those two kids with him when he ran away. And apparently, Lysanthir was aware of the whole plan. He helped it. But they didn't want to leave. But he had to stay. He had to make sure that they bought it. I don't know once again, they won't tell me any of the goddamn details. But all I know is that he didn't get a chance to tell Lysanthir about me. I don't even know if he knew before he left. But surprise, I turned up like 9 months later. God, I know. I didn't bother doing the math. Who's that? It was fine. I didn't mind. It didn't matter. It was just me and Papa. I was fine with that until about 3 months ago. Papa was working on an invention and surprise, surprise, it blew up in his face again, except the thing he was working on had a curse on it, and now he's reliving the day. From what I figured out, he's reliving the day before where everything went wrong. He keeps trying to get dressed up for this party, and he keeps talking about how excited he is to see Lysanthir, and then each day, when it gets towards the end, he doesn't know why Lysanthir hasn't shown up to take him, and he gets so distressed. He won't eat, he won't drink. All he wants to do is see Lysanthir, and he won't do anything except that. I have done 3 days where he wouldn't eat, and I've had to force him to eat, and it's this curse that is making him waste away. The best that we can figure out is that there's something about that night that he regrets, and obviously it's leaving him. So I need to bring Lysanthir here. That's why I was at the party. I was trying to get hold of Lysanthir Winaris without bringing attention to his whole family and everything. But the Winaris family is so hard to get a hold of. They disappeared for like 20 odd years before they turned back up.
I suppose at dinner tomorrow we're going to be searching more information on the Winaris family as well. obviously we can figure out if there's any way of contacting anyone from that family. So we can contact what was sent there. And
I greatly appreciate that. I really would, because I can't lose him. I don't. You know how you've seen how I am here. They don't exactly like me. I've always been too loud, bit too much. Kind of like Papa, but Papa has his brains. Papa is a genius. The amount of things that he's invented that's helped people here. Like, even if they don't like him, they know that he's too useful to get rid of. But me, I'm a loudmouth assassin that's a dime a dozen. And they don't need me here. All I have is him. I can't lose him. So, and what am I doing? This is... Oh, okay. This is too much emotion for me for today. Where we were talking about? Where's the cats? Like, it's all the like bloody cats and all their secret immortal agenda, isn't it?
At that moment, you hear Hai Sung kind of knock on the door. He goes, listen, I've always thought your father was a handsome man, but he needs his beauty sleep. So he kind of
You're
pats
right about that.
Sonari. He pats you on the shoulder. He goes, don't cry. Makes your face puff up.
You know all about that, crybaby.
Mm-hmm. I promise I'm watching over him, okay? Just do what you gotta do, because it seems, from what I heard throughout the hold here, you're not in people's good graces right now.
we're kind of in trouble, but
Yeah, I figured. You do look like trouble, Miss Fitzgerald.
Stop flirting with her. Come on.
Sorry, it's an instinct.
I have to put the blindfold back down. Take a look at the pretty pink tiefling for a second before I
Oh, don't take a look at me. He's talking from outside the door after he pats you on the shoulder, like from around the corner, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's totally their relationship. And I just go, pull it down, and then I just go, alright. Time to go. Sorry, you talk first.
Yeah, sorry. Before we leave, just saying, like, I would like to speak with you again, Hai Sung, in better circumstances.
Just make sure that Gaius lets you get away. And then he gently helps Sonari escort you out the door. And you guys make your way through that winding kind of cave, underground tunnel, back up through Frank's shop, kind of nods his head at you. It is late. And as you guys leave, you can see across the street, those 3 idiots are there, still waiting for you.
Are you fucking kidding? They've been waiting there. Oh my god.
Once we're out, she just takes the pipe. You know that building's closed, right?
How many cards is that? And why is there 7 chairs balanced on Ariel's head?
I was about to ask the same thing.
We got
Does
bored.
that come from him, or does that come from the dragon?
Comes from both.
And you can see behind them at the bar, there's a young teenager who fell asleep on his book.
Oh
Oh
dear.
my god, they've left that kid. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I really quick before we go turn to Maddie, go. Hey, can you pretend I said a secret and pretend I still don't have emotions? That'd be great. I don't need to. I don't want to. Exactly. Good. You're fantastic. And then I'm gonna walk over and I'm just gonna start going. Is insane making the teenagers sleep here? What is wrong with you?
Look,
I'm gonna walk.
We told him that he could leave, but apparently there's
What rules?
rules that they can't just let people sit on the patio.
Yeah, of course. You're on the property. There is a just drop. You could have just sat on like oh my god! We'll go to the kid and gonna like gently tap his cheek. Go, hey, hello.
He wakes up. He goes, "We're closed. I told them."
Yeah, they're sodding off now. Come on, we need to get you home. And
Yes,
actually,
ma'am.
I'm gonna go actually we'll go into my pocket. I'm gonna like pull out like. Actually, let me just go and open up. I need to double check what I
Did you
have.
just pull out a smelling salt on him?
No, I'm looking for like my gold.
Oh, no. Money.
I
Just assume you have it.
yeah, I can't
That's
see.
what I do.
So I'm gonna pull out like 5 gold pieces and put them in his hand. I'm just be like, you take this, you go home, and like we're starting off now. Like
He
I know
says,
you can't
"Oh,
close up till we're
thank
gone.
you." He goes,
Yeah,
You are always welcome at my parents' restaurant." And he hops off the stool, goes into a side door with stairs that lead up to the second floor of this building.
And that is how you make a con. All right.
You know what? He
hold on.
deserves it.
You know,
No, it's still. I don't care about the fact that it's still his parents' building. He'd be down here taking a rest when he could be upstairs. All right, you 3, get the chairs off his head.
on it. Hold on. Just kind of like moves like 3 chairs.
She's bossy.
Oh, while you were
Sonara is like-
all inside,
Sonara's hyped up on emotion. She doesn't like the fact that she just had to be vulnerable.
Gross. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
guess who I saw walking into that shop over there?
Was it a cat?
No.
Should-
Anyway.
Anyway,
You feeling all right?
just go on. It's a joke, inside joke from Sonari.
We're friends now.
So-
Yes.
I
oh, no,
see.
this is- this is-
Well, a well-respected high mistress of the academy that we attended today. It was inside
Your voice
the
keeps
shop.
cutting out because you keep looking away from the microphone.
Really? I'm like right
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, it's like this, and then
No,
it's like
I know what it
this,
is.
and then this.
I'm right on it. I'm right
Yeah.
on the microphone. That's why it's cutting out.
Yeah.
I forget what her actual last name is.
Holt.
Holt.
Headmistress Holt.
Headmistress Holt was at the establishment after you two did your thing.
Didn't some people go meet her at the academy?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh.
I knew her when I went to the academy, but I never attended any classes. Apparently she's getting something for Fred,
Frank.
Scott, Sam, whatever.
Okay, Gary.
I just turn back to look at the shop name and I go, yeah, it's really hard to mistake that.
Yeah, it's really big letters.
Look, I'm bad with names, okay?
I just like open my mouth to make a joke and I go, no, I made too many today. Need to save them. I just go. Anyway, we do have development, and I don't know if our burial has said anything to you because it turns out that this thing can talk. So
Oh,
This
But-
guy is like motions over to like the chairs and cards. You think he's been holding a conversation with us?
I don't know. I didn't even know that he could talk for. I pull back the sleeve to show the dragon. I'm like, I didn't even know that he could talk through this thing. It scared the crap out of me.
It scared the crap out of you. Imagine taking a bath and this thing just walks up onto the lip of it and starts talking to you.
I just turned to look at it and go, huh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
what? Anyway, this is not the place to talk about this kind of stuff.
Agreed.
I think we can just keep on moving on. The last chair gets put on the table, like flipped upside down on its armrest, and it's like, I think we're good to go here.
All right.
Oh,
Where do we the night?
Well, I cannot lend you the barracks. That's just me.
And you saw that, like, I don't want to have to blindfold all 4 of you so I could take you guys back to my house.
Sonari, I mean, my parents already think that you are
Avros
with
did
me.
say you guys were welcome at his place whenever.
You know, there's this really nice mansion that we were at a couple nights ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I mean, Arby's horse is still there. Is there already?
True.
And your crush is there too.
So yeah, I guess we could go back to the Partingtons, but I'm going to drop my voice and just be like, I need you guys to know that there has been a significant development in figuring out the culprit. So
Understood.
if we discuss it, we need to keep our voices very low. Even me.
All right, so we can do that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in understanding of it tonight. What we have to do tomorrow, which is talk.
Yes. We need to have
No.
a rest, and then me, Gaius, and Maddie are having a date night with her father.
Right.
Gaius is going to be having dinner already, and I invited Sonari for dinner as well.
That could
So-
work.
It'll be so fun.
Is the play the same?
Similar.
Okay, we're
More
gonna
in-
need to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of talking needs to be done, but it's also like
Past midnight.
it's like I don't know how many times the bell's been gonged, but I am gonged out. I need to go sleep.
It's
I am
about
out
1
of
in the morning.
I am out of ideas of how to make any more card towers. Let's just go.
Are you guys going to the Partingtons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Off to the
I-
Partingtons.
I
You
will
guys
go
fly
with
down a
them
coach?
to the
Yeah, go ahead.
Partingtons. But once we get there, I need to go home. And then after going home, I'll go back to the Partingtons.
Okay. You could just get a separate coach. The McDonald's are many.
Yeah, if there's enough McDonald's to go around, then I
Yeah, the
will
coaches
tell
are
them
marked with a
that.
giant gold
When you
M.
hold out your arm, 2 of them pull up. Hi, I'm Gronald, and this is Fronald. We're here to drive you guys wherever you like.
Much appreciated.
You guys get the 1, 2, 3, 4 of you get into Gronald's carriage, and you're left with Fronald. Unfortunately, as you guys are riding, you see as he's talking to you, he kind of spits a bit. But other than that, he gets you there in a timely manner. As for Gronald, he rolls up to the entrance of the Partington estate, and he goes, "Make sure to tell your friends about what you flagged down at McDonald's."
You're gonna love it.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Thank you for the ride.
And as you guys step out of the coach and knock on the door, you see that it's actually answered by Florence, Yadira's handmaiden. And she goes, yes, they told me you might be showing up here. I'm more than happy to show you to your rooms, but I must ask that you don't disturb my lord and lady Partington. We've been dealing with some difficult news.
Fair enough.
We heard back from the doctor that Lord Partington's body is done being examined, and they are needing to plan the funeral, which will be soon. And obviously something like that is a big undertaking, so they're not available tonight.
Understandable.
But I'm
just
happy
need
to
the
show you
room.
to your rooms, and I promise there'll be rooms on the first floor, so you don't have to travel very far to get there.
Thank
I
you very much.
greatly appreciate that.
Hmm.
As much as I love the rooms, the maze is the worst part of it all.
And
Thank you very
she
much.
quietly, almost tiptoes through the house as she shows you all to your rooms. And she closes all of your doors and says, before she does, she says, if you need anything, just let me know. And I'm happy to get it for you.
Thank you very much, Florence.
Thank you.
And she closes the door for you guys, and that's where we're going to call it for this week.
Cool.
Woo!
Sorry, I started killing myself because I suddenly just saw these two cat ears appear over Fox's shoulder, and it's just like lurking ominously. Or is that a dog? I thought they were cats.
That would be dog ears.
Oh, it's a dog. Okay.
I would be alarmed if it was a cat, because there's no cats in here.
Okay.
Surprise, Fox,
I'd
you
be
now have a
thrilled.
cat.
Anyway, that is this episode of The Downfall of Propriety. Rojan, do your shtick, please.
Do the thing.
Do the thing.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. If this is your first time here, this is not the only show that we do. Coming up on Monday will be another episode of Destiny Forged, which is our longest running show here on the channel. On a bit of a break right now for our Tuesday show of Star Wars, as their DM Tilt is currently in the process of getting married. So probably a couple more weeks before the next episode of that will be coming out. Coming up on Thursday would be an episode of Mass Effect Horizons, but Zorro is the other half of that marriage, so Mass Effect and Star Wars are on hold until those two get back from the marriage stuffs. Coming up on Saturday, we're gonna have another episode of Withered Wastes, which is another 5th edition game that I run. And then coming up later on in that night, we will have another episode of Vigilant 6, which is our Star Wars game. And then we'll cycle back throughout the week.
Wait, you said Vigilant 6 was a Star Wars game?
Superhero.
I'm sorry. I've got Star Wars on the mind right now. And then we'll cycle back through the week with Tricorn Isles being on Thursday, which is a 5th edition game that I run. And then on the what Saturday is the next T-Dot?
That'd be the 17th.
The 17th. Okay, so and then coming up on the 17th will be another episode of us here on the Downfall of Propriety. But for now, we are going to head on out. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Catch you later.
May the 4th be with you, and live long and prosper. Bye.
Bye bye.